All right, all right, all right. We should be good. Mic's on, mic's on, mic check, mic check. That looks good. Let's turn it up a bit. Put me right there. Close that out. And let's get to some Boruto stuff. That looks good. Let's turn it up a bit. I've always wanted a brother. And I don't really need my headphones for this though, do I? Shouldn't need my headphones for this actually, yeah. I've always wanted a brother. He's not a stray, he's my brother. I have not seen that shitty ass movie. But hey, people think it's good. So it might be good. Who knows? Why does this keep asking me if I want to fucking continue as the person I'm signed into, yo? Alright. So yeah, last time we were reading Boruto, we stopped around Momoshiki fucking up Naruto, Sasuke, then Naruto and Sasuke, and Boruto beating Momoshiki. But as you guys can see, I'm a lot further than that now. This is Jigen, this is Delta, and they're about to do whatever they're going to be doing. So here we are. For some clarification, they just as far as I mean the new Team 7 just finished beating Aoi, the hit and miss guy who had the Byakugan but apparently lost the Byakugan later in life. So this is all kind of introductory. We don't really need to see this stuff. Now, I'm a little confused on how he made a whole new table that fast. Because she kicks the table, which she does, and there's no table in front of them. Oh, he shrunk it. That's right. He shrunk it and he probably placed it. That's what he did. He put his hand out. And he made a whole new table with food and wine and whatever. So that's the first time we see him use his ability of being able to shrink things, I think. That's kind of cool. Don't give me that scary look. I don't know who you are. Alright, don't give me that scary look. I don't mind you going there to see for yourself if that'll help put you at ease. Be sure, because I will take you up on that. Just don't forget that I task coach you with that mission. You're to follow his lead, nothing more. If you have any issues, report back to me. Very well, thank you, Jigen. Enjoy the rest of your meal. So they find Kawaki. He has a karma. Important. What's of concern is this mark? It's the same as Boruto's. Who is he? Did these puppets chase him all the way here? Because I find it hard to believe that he took them all down by himself. Like I said, supplementary. We don't really got to read all this stuff. Flashbacks of Kawaki's life. Once your son is mine, you'll never get him back. Do you understand? Oh, this is his father. I've never seen his father before because I don't watch the anime. Real life, I thought Kawaki was like a bastard, but he does have a father. He's hollow, empty. He's got no worth, other than being my punching bag, that is. Here's the thing. Why is Jigen bargaining with him? Why doesn't he just take his son? I don't understand that aspect of it. Maybe he doesn't want to draw attention to himself. That you'd spring big. Oh, okay, he says. Yeah. That it's been big bucks for such a puny brat. Are you doing? Are you a god or something? It's funny if he asks him if he's a god because he's an Otsutsuki and they're supposed to be gods. That's kind of funny. Hey, yo, what's good, Shinigami? How you doing, bro? Wow, this is amazing. Ha 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 ha. I must be dreaming. And Jigen, I'm guessing, takes Kawaki away. I bet you've suffered a lot, but that's all over now. I'm taking custody of you. You did well enduring, so don't worry. From this moment on, I am your father. That's hilarious. He just tells the man he's his daddy. Kawaki is a grown kid. Look at him. He's a grown boy. And he's just going to tell him at this moment, I am your father. On some Darth Vader reveal shit. That's funny. Alright. There's nothing to be afraid of now. Come here. Look at this, yo. He looks like a... I don't even want to say it, but look at this, yo. This is giving weird vibes. This kid is terrified of him. He's coming too. Don't. All of you get away from him now. And he wakes up rage damped. His eyes in the back of his head. Don't touch me. Oh, he doesn't like to be touched. Yeah, Jigen is a weirdo. We'll leave it there. It looks like he started to float. Did he start to float when he did that? Yeah, he's on the ground. And this is all the dust beneath him, so he must have floated. Whoa. Oh yeah, he's in the air. He really was the one who took down the puppets there. Oh yeah, he did float because he's tapping the ground. Okay. So this is a pretty impressive rage crater, right? This is a pretty impressive rage crater. Now, what we need to find out, though, is exactly how. See, but here's the thing: Kawaki was genetically engineered to be tougher, stronger, more resilient, etc., etc., etc. So it's kind of like scaling him, the androids, or I'm sorry, scaling him, the cyborgs, and the Otsutsuki is the real tough part because this whole faction introduces a new. It almost throws a monkey wrench in the scaling of Naruto because you're going from a series that you don't have to scale off the energy to hurt them, but now you're introducing cyborgs and aliens of different, durabilities and APs and all this stuff, and we have to kind of fit them in with the already established ninja that, don't have as good, in particular at least, durability. AP, they can compete, but no. So me seeing this crater, if we were to calc this, the question is, would we take the values we get from this and automatically apply this to Kawaki's body? And the answer should be no. The answer should be no based on the fact that we know in the future, hell, we even know right now, everyone right here can fight with Kawaki and potentially beat him. Everyone right here can fight with Kawaki, except for, I don't even know this stupid scientist's name. Except for him. He's the only one that can't fight with Kawaki and beat him. Playing TF2. TF2. What is TF2? Playing TF2. I don't know what's TF2, bro. Is it fun? Actually, no. That crater's not even that deep. It looks deeper from here, but it's not even that deep. Who the hell are you? Who the hell are you? Trackers from Kata? Why would he assume that? Team Fortress 2. Okay, that's what's up. Trackers, no way we're... Hold up, Boruto. I'm sorry, Tobi Konohamaru. A shinobi from the land of fire's Konoha village. Kashin Koji's watching all of this. Delta's watching all of this. Always such an expressive face, Koji. You look rather annoyed. You look rather annoyed. I'm offended. What a pleasure, Delta. Though I don't recall inviting you. Just so you know, I have Jigen's permission. I came to see what could be taking you so long. I'm sad that no one seems to trust me. You have an outer with you. Well, of course, I've summoned Garo. Just think of me as a spectator. See, like, here's my thing with all this stuff. Even with the arc before this one, why didn't Kashin Koji, and listen, I know why he didn't, right? But why didn't, or let's do this, because Kashin Koji is technically a double agent, right? He's working for Amado, and therefore the betterment of the world in the Leaf, right? So why doesn't Delta right now just go down there, speed blitz all of them, and take Kawaki? Why would she need an outer to come and do this stuff? Like, what is the point of her being a spectator? Like, and mind you, I get that Jigen assigned her this mission, but if the mission is to get Kawaki, and he's not getting Kawaki, she's there, why doesn't she just get Kawaki? Oh, hey, look, it's the fodder robot. Like, shit. We'll see. We'll see just how fodder, right? And that's what I've been trying to discover at this point. Like just how much better or worse these cyborgs' durability is, just how much better their speed and AP is, etc., etc., etc. Yeesh. Oh, hold up. Let me go check on that real quick. Okay. Mugetsu says, I've only seen the anime, so I don't know how different. Oh god, why can't this move out my way? I don't know how different the manga is, but in the anime, she gets cooked by base Naruto. I'm hoping it's more impressive in the manga. Hey, bro, that's why we're here, right? We got to see what the manga is talking about. Because, interestingly enough, Mugetsu, whenever I talk to these Boruto guys, they like to really harp on what happened in the anime and take advantage of my lack of knowledge of what happened in the manga. Because it's manga first before every other thing, before anything was there was the manga. The manga is the main original source material. That is what we follow. And I always make this disclaimer, except in the case of very special cases, and it sounds biased, but it's just true. Except in cases like the 1,000 Year Blood, where Kubo is having an extensive hand. He's storyboarding, he's making exactly new content, he's showing up to work every day to make that his project. That is his baby. So, yeah. But yeah, we're going to see just how impressive Delta is in the manga versus the anime. What do Konoha Shinobi want with me? We don't mean to harm you. We found you in the course of investigating the crash landing of an airship within our borders. We want to know what's going on. Will you tell us? And on what basis should I trust you? Just leave me alone. I'm sorry, but we can't do that. Protocol dictates that we take you into custody, by force if necessary. Okay. Fine, never mind. Looks like you want to die. Hold on a minute. And he shows him the karma. You know what this is, right? Don't you have one too on your left palm? That's... Hey, what the? Karma? You... Or how do you have one? Karma. It's called karma, but what the heck is it? That boy, why does he possess a karma? 2 karmas now. What will transpire? Okay, so Kashin Koji is probably here for information. This is why he's not stepping in. There's no reason Delta's not stepping in, though, except the fact that it's Kashin Koji's mission. But if it's to get Kawaki, she should have just stepped in and got Kawaki. Candace versus Delta. You know what? Candace. Yeah, Candace. That only took a minute because like I was trying to think of like a good showing for Candace, but she fought Ichigo, so there's like no good showing if you fight Ichigo. Like, yeah. In the anime, she gets overloaded by just absorbing base Naruto's chakra. Then he goes Chris Brown on her robot ass like shit. Alright. Why does he possess 2 karmas? What will transpire? Damn it. So you are trackers from karma. Is Kawaki dumb? He literally sees leaf headbands. Right? Has Kara ever wore leaf headbands? Like, why do writers do this? No one believes he believes they're actually trackers from karma. No, you got that wrong. Please calm down and hear us out. You know what? I don't care who you are. Fight me if you dare. I'll kill you all instead. Team Fortress 2 Soldier is top 10 characters of all time. Easy. What's good though, Michael? How you doing, bro? She survived an earnest attack from Shushika Ichigo after he forgot to hold back when testing his shiny new move. I agree. She did survive it, but I also only think her arm was caught in that attack. I don't think I don't think she was caught in the full explosion of that Getsuga Jujutsu. Her arm was disintegrated easily, and that could have very easily been her entire body. So I think it really missed her. Well, it is great that you're doing great, my friend. It is a good Tuesday. I had a nice day at work. I actually didn't do squat. I didn't do jack shit today. Not because I'm a lazy employee and not because I'm a bad worker. So what I do is I work in telecommunications, and we were setting up some sensors for the hospital that we're working at. But thankfully, it was very fortuitous that the network was not working in that hospital. So they literally spent all day trying to get the network or the sensors to connect to the network, and then that bounce back and forth and have communication before each other. Anyways, it never happened, and it might not happen tomorrow. So your boy might have another free day, to be honest with you. So yeah, my day was very good. I'm hoping you all had a great day. I'm glad Michael is having a great day. Yeah, man, sounds like good work, right? Love being medic. I gotta play again. I gotta play this game. I'll definitely try it out. Team Fortress. I'll write that down. Or I'll remember it. All right. So an explosion happened. What happened? Okay, this bum. Right. What the? So sorry to interrupt, but I need to retrieve our precious vessel. See, here's the thing. Why are we not sending Delta in? Who should be able to speed blitz and one shot all these people? Why waste the time with an outer? I'm gonna say this is bad writing. There's no reason for Delta to be here. Like, if they were gonna do this, they should have sent the outer. He get his ass whooped while Delta's en route to see what's happening. Then Delta show up. That makes much more sense. Why is she standing here watching the outer trying to retrieve Kawaki? Mind you, you guys didn't see the last chapters because I was reading this before, but Delta was like, friend, she's like, oh, where's the vessel? We have to retrieve the vessel. Now she's letting this bum try and retrieve him. Anyways, who's he? One after another. What the heck is going on? You, Garo, Konoha Shinobi. So you've already made contact with the vessel. That geezer owl must have messed up. He's making us other outers look bad. And this guy, never mind, it's okay. Whatever attack he did. Look at that. Look at this. So this is a fairly big explosion. It actually, from like a body standpoint, it encapsulates all of them. Body-wise, right? Look at the little crater that it actually left, though. And this might be distance, because Kawaki's crater looks a little smaller when drawn to size. But that is a very small crater for the attack that it left. Mind you, again, this attack is bigger than all of them. But that's okay. I'm just saying. Alright. That buffoon flapping his loose lips. And I was just about to say that. Why is he calling him a vessel? Does this guy not have any idea of security or any idea of secrecy? Why is he calling him a vessel? Likely the airship's cargo that owl was searching for. Don't you treat me like an object, you lowly pig. You'll lose much more than just your chin this time. Oh, so Kawaki's responsible for this. Now who's the one acting tough? Be good, and I'll take you back real gentle, hollow imp. Don't tell me that by vessel they mean... Yeah, all else aside, it does seem that Kara's target, the vessel, is this young man. Obviously. Don't worry, I haven't forgotten that you took my chin, but I ain't going to kill you. However... And he fires a blast. I'll make you hurt enough that you'll wish you were dead. So he's not trying to kill him, which means these blasts aren't lethal. So this looks like a dodge is going on here. Boruto and Sarada don't move. And Kawaki is fast enough. It looks like to perception blitz Boro, but we have to see what happens next. Okay. Now, the reason it almost looked like a perception blitz is because Boro has not yet turned his head to even look at or see Kawaki, yet Kawaki is pretty much on the side of his face. And we have Mitsuki, who can see all this happening. So he's fast. Kawaki turns his arm into a scythe type sword / knife thingy. And Garo is able to intercept it with his own attack. Or is this a duck? I can't really tell. Oh no, he grabs it with his claw arm. He dodges while grabbing it with his claw arm at the same time. Yeah, okay. Yeah, he grabbed it while... Okay, cool. Just as I thought, you're pretty debilitated. This is going to be a piece of cake. Okay, so... Garo is noting that Kawaki is nerfed. He's debilitated. He's slower, probably. But that's important because Mitsuki said he was fast. This is minor scaling, but Mitsuki thinks he's fast right now, which means a full power Kawaki is more than likely above everyone there except for Konohamaru. That's how I would conceptualize that. You guys tell me if that makes sense though, right? So Kawaki blitzes over to him. I'm not saying he blitzes him, but he blitzes over to him to the point Mitsuki says he's fast. He does his attack. Garo is able to block it. Mind you, Garo has fought Kawaki and lost half of his face. Now, being able to block him, he says, just as I thought, you were pretty debilitated. Ha ha ha. This is going to be a piece of cake. So this would intimate to us that Kawaki is actually nerfed at this point in time. Kawaki should be nerfed at this point in time. Y'all let me know if y'all agree with that. I'm Falag Pyro. Sounds like good work. He just did some parasite shit. Yeah, no, he did do some shit. He did do some parasite shit. Would love for a stream to happen as I draw with it in the background. Does that... Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. So you'd like me to stream while you're drawing? We can definitely do that, bro. I wouldn't mind doing that. Just give me let me know, because it would have to be on like a after 5, but I don't know what time you're on Shinigami. It would have to be like after 5 though. We could definitely do that. Maybe reacting to another video. Yeah, no, I definitely don't mind. We got a lot of time. Hey, there he is. What's good, Karibo? How you doing, bro? We're gonna go over your stuff pretty soon, but later. Yo. Episode 189 is a must-watch if you are here. Ugh, Karibo. Why do I need to watch the episode when I have the original source material right here? What could I possibly need from it? What's it going to do for me? Does something other than what's happening here happen that I need to take into consideration or account? And thank you, Michael, for saying it seems reasonable. I think so too. So we can safely move forward thinking or claiming that I'm in the cold realms of Earth. Like shit. And I'm in Outworld. Alright, we can move on safely assuming that Kawaki is nerfed. And that the speed that he used that impressed Mitsuki tells us that because we know Mitsuki and Boruto and Sarada, we know they're all relative. They're not like, yeah. So this would actually put base Kawaki at full power clearly above them. And that's just off the assumption that he's already calling him fast while he's in a weakened state. I think we can safely assume that. Right? But here's the thing. Here's an important thing. We know Kawaki is not a ninja. Now, the question then becomes, has he learned to utilize chakra? Some of my Boruto fans might already know this question or not. I don't. I'm going to presume he doesn't know how to manipulate chakra. So this would tell us that him being genetically modified already puts him at a level beyond what ninja are capable of with chakra. This is how you break down a fucking series. I'm nice. Oh my god. Oh my fucking... Yo, your favorite creator, unless it's me, does not do this for you. I swear to God he doesn't. Anyways, I hope all that made sense. Tell me in the comments if that made sense. Let's get back to it. Mitsuki is a bit above other members at this point of Team 7. See, I think Mitsuki is only above them while he's using his Sage Mode. I don't think Mitsuki is clearly above Boruto or Sarada. I think he might edge them out, but I don't think it's a clear edge them out. And if you want to go that route of Mitsuki being above them all, it's even more impressive because if Mitsuki, the best person on the team, aside from like Konohamaru, is calling Kawaki fast, and Kawaki is in a weakened state, that just puts the claim that Kawaki in base is stronger than all of them, including Mitsuki, who's stronger than them. It makes that claim even stronger, actually. But yeah, that's important. If he can manipulate chakra or not, that's extremely important to this conversation. We'll have to consider that. We'll have to factor that in. Hopefully we get an answer as to whether or not he can or cannot manipulate chakra, because this is going to do a lot of things for us, right? Just as I thought, you're pretty debilitated. Yeah. Yeah, right. More like you need all the help you can get. Okay. Yeah, next chapter. Okay. So Kawaki is fighting with Garo. Okay. He jumps off of him. Jumps up in the air. Is about to attack. And he's able to manipulate his limbs enough to where he can stretch them like this. And almost do like a wood style thing with his hands. But we know it's not wood style. But within his weakened state, Garo is able to dodge his attacks. Okay, interesting. Kawaki can detach things that he's already used from himself. So they're not... So like he can generate them and them not stay a part of him. That's pretty useful. So he shoots an attack. He detaches from the long attack that he used to try and hit Garo. And he dodges those two attacks. Garo continues the blast. Kawaki is running. Kawaki is still running. He's dodging and he's, I'm guessing, facing Garo at this point. Garo is still attacking. He's still shooting. But we have to also keep in mind Garo is not shooting to kill. So anything we see here isn't Garo's full strength. As far as attacks, isn't Garo's full strength either. Alright. Wait, what? What did you do? Oh, okay. My fault. I misread that. Kawaki did an attack. I misread this. Kawaki did an attack. So he threw some attacks at Garo. Garo has stopped shooting. These are not Garo's attacks. That was my fault. These are Kawaki's attacks. Kawaki's attacks are blocked by Garo. What's up with their bodies? The big guy's just fitted with scientific ninja tools, but I'm not sure about the boy's body. Okay, cool. So he brings Garo down to the ground as far as like lands him. Out of breath already? Haha. You're getting low on power. What power is he getting low on? What power does Kawaki run on? Right? Because we haven't established if he can use chakra just yet. So what power would Kawaki be getting low on, or what power would he be low to run on? This is very interesting stuff. Alright. Never mind. Was going to suggest a Naruto versus Ichigo video from 3 years ago that is nearly an hour long. Not sure if you'd like to see all that. It depends on the day. Not today though. I do kind of want to get a good amount into this because I do want to get into Two Blue Vortex. But yeah, ew, ads. Hey, chill, bro. Brother needed an ad blocker for real. Did I miss an ad? I must have missed the ad. What was it, yo? Y'all got me looking for the ad. That's crazy. Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah. That's on you guys, man. Y'all got dirty minds. I didn't even see the ad. Y'all saw me on stream. I didn't see the ad. So that's y'all. Get your minds out of the gutter. Yeah. Join the stream and seeing Nagatori getting in the ad. That's crazy. But nice to have you back, Mindo. How you doing, bro? Immortal versus Homelander. The biggest fraud of today versus the biggest fraud of history. Who wins? I got Immortal. I think I have Immortal. Immortal should win that. Do you play Bleach Brave Souls? So here's the thing. I do play Bleach Brave Souls. I bought it. Here's the thing about it though. I'm only home every 2 weeks, so I can't play it consistently. And I vowed not to play it until they fix the bug to where when you back out of a game, it doesn't let you play another game. So I've only really been in training and maybe like 1 or 2 online matches. I play it, but I will not dedicate any real time to it until those bugs are fixed, honestly. But it looks like a great game. It looks really fun. I like Kisuke. I like Toshido. I like Kai and Shiba. Kai and Shiba's that guy. I want to get good with Chad, but Chad is just like really hard for me to use. His move kit is really weird. I haven't gotten to use Byakuya yet, but I like Byakuya. His moveset's really fire. And yeah. He says I'm alive. Wonder how far cast of Disney's Recess gets into Naruto. Vince legitimately kicked the kickball into space. Oh, Recess. Yeah. Didn't even say anything about it. I didn't even say anything about it. You're describing Rebirth of Souls, LO. Oh, I'm so sorry, Revenant. You're right. And I'm so sorry. I don't even know how to say your name because it's in Japanese. But yeah, I answered the entire wrong fucking question. That is hilarious. I'm describing a whole different game. But maybe that's what he meant. We don't know. We won't know until he tells us. I recommend Soy Phone. Hi, by the way. It was good, Revenant. How you doing, bro? Nice to see you. I don't think I'm going to pick up Soy Phone because I'm hearing Soy Phone is kind of OP. I'm hearing Soy Phone's kind of OP, and I'm hearing Yoruichi's kind of OP. And Okioda really whooped my ass, too. He made me quit. Like, I left the game. I'm like, I'm not fighting him. I'm not ready. Just wasn't fair. I left the game. Wasn't ready to fight an Okioda. The ad. Okay, yeah. Yeah, Shinigami. Like, they all got dirty minds, bro. I ain't saying nothing about the ad either, man. Come on, like, y'all gotta grow up, man. All right, back to it. Did I already see this, though? I feel like I saw this already. Yeah, we did see this. Okay. So these are Kawaki's attacks. They ground Garo. Out of breath already, yada, yada, yada. You're getting low on power. Right. What power is he getting low on? He's just getting real low on, like, physical power, stamina, speed, strength, an energy supply or an energy source, maybe? We don't know. We'll find out. Kawaki rushes at Garo. He attacks. I'm guessing Garo swipes his hand, though. I'm guessing that's what that was. This looks like an action here, so I'm guessing his hand swiped Kawaki's hand. Ooh. So he swipes Kawaki's hand, and then he pins him with his claw hand, making a decent-sized crater, or fragmenting the ground, we'll say. So that takes a decent amount of force to fragment the ground like that. Gotcha. Is he firing? Is blam blam? Okay, yeah, he's firing directly into Kawaki. Okay. Oh, and Kawaki took maximum damage from this. Though there's not really any like surrounding damage from that attack being concentrated directly on him. Aside from the crater that was already made. There's no way that killed you. You're tougher than that. Picks him up. Oh, he stabs him. Okay, yeah, that is a stab. So he stabs right through Kawaki with that scientific ninja tool. So you finally quieted down. If you just come with me, I wouldn't have had to hurt you. He's taking him away. Boruto, wait. The situation's gotten too complicated. We can't make any careless moves. Konohamaru is... Why is he a sensei? Why is he a sensei, bro? I didn't like him when he was a kid. I don't like him now. But we can't just do nothing. Master, the mission has increased to S rank. It's too dangerous. Wow. He's scared shitless right now. Look at him. He's actually sweating. Look at him. He's actually sweating. He saw that little tidbit from Kawaki and Garo and decided this was an S-class mission. It's too dangerous. I'm a Jonin, mind you. Oh my god. This is too dangerous for him. That's crazy. My top priority right now is to protect all of you. Yeah, no, that's bullshit. Don't even look. He's sweating for his ass. Don't even make that an excuse. We're not buying it. You're afraid, right? There's only two people there. There's only one person there. He's afraid. And look, the so-called ninja haven't even detected these two. Haven't even detected them. All right. Nah, they lying. I played Toshido for like 2 online matches since I can't find matches, bro. Yeah, that's what, like, yeah, bro. Number one, it takes long to find matches in that game. And then, like I said, every time you back out of a game, it freezes. And I have to, like, restart the whole fucking console. Soy from Strongest Captain. I don't know about all that. Like, you know, she's good in the game, but I don't know about all that. The secret stories explore some of the extra content that Kubo couldn't add to the manga. Check that out too. I'll definitely check that out. Myself, totally in a freak. Don't know if it's too early to ask. Do we know how strong these antagonists are compared to Momoshiki and Kinshiki? So Kashin Koji hasn't fought yet, and Delta hasn't fought yet. The only ones that have fought Naruto so far has just been Momoshiki. And that's pretty much it, bro. So no, we don't know how much more powerful they are, but retroactively, when they fight Jigen, I'm going to show that Momo took a harder fight than Jigen did, and the fact that Momo might have better feats than Jigen, depending on the context in which we're talking about. So, no, right now we don't know how strong either one of these guys are in compared to Naruto or Sasuke. Here's what I know for a fact, though. Kinshiki and Sasuke are relative. Every time they fought, it has been on equal ground, but that's also a lie because Sasuke was not using his perfect Susanoo. So we know Sasuke in base form is relative to Kinshiki. But here's the thing also, we've never seen Kinshiki go all out either. Unless we're just going to assume that Kinshiki is only a brawler and he has nothing else to offer aside from physical strikes. If we're assuming that, then Sasuke is probably stronger than Kinshiki by a decent margin because of the perfect Susanoo. But base to base, Kinshiki and Sasuke are very relative. Neither one of them really gains an advantage over the other. What we won't be doing is equating the fodder Kage to Naruto, Sasuke, Kinshiki, or Momoshiki. Kuribo tried to do this the other day. I'm not going to let that happen. None of them could hang with Kinshiki by himself. It was a team effort. Right. Now, Momo getting chased by Darui and Gara, I don't know. That's kind of weird. I don't know. That's just weird to me. but the fact that that even happened. But yeah, Garo, that fool. I told him to be gentle with the boy. I should have replaced his brain too. Relax. What's key is still to come. Can't you wake up and flail about so? And flay about? So, let me break a few limbs. So, Kawaki is twitching. Boruto notices he's twitching. Boruto's karma starts to react. Boruto! Ah, okay. His karma starts to spread. Again, just like earlier. Huh? What the? Okay. Kawaki puts his hand on Boruto's arm. He grabs it. Hey, you forgot about me? Ooh. He rips it right off. Okay. He rips it off and then an explosion happens from Garo's arm. Okay. What? Everyone's surprised. Boruto's shocked. Wah. And we get the alien tat all around his arm and face. Hey, who are you first off? I don't know what profile you are, bro. I want to call you something. Is that Yusuke in your profile pic? I'm trying to figure out. I need something to call you, cause I can't read Japanese, bro. But yes, the karma does actually look sick, and I just found out that. Well, while reading this, I found out that Momo actually looks kind of fire in the manga. The anime and the movie don't do him justice, but the manga did Momo really, really good. He looked fire in the manga. All right, let's see what kind of power boost we can expect from Karma. Because here's the thing. We already know a Kawaki at full power is stronger than Garo. But this was a weakened Kawaki who just lost the Garo. So it's going to be a little hard to quantify how much of a boost this is, because we don't know how much stronger he gets over his base form. But we know Garo is weaker. No, that's Shinichi. Oh, that's Shinichi. Oh, okay. I bet. We're going to call you Shinichi then. That's fire. I like that. Cool. From Parasite. Nice. I couldn't tell because it's black and white, but yeah. All right. Karma's over him. You scrawny brat. Where'd you get that much power? Okay. So, first, Garo says you're running low on power. After the activation of Karma, he says, where'd you get that much power? Interestingly enough, chakra's not being mentioned here at all. Chakra has not been a component as far as it being relevant in the conversation up until this point at all. That's important because it kind of shows the shift from the old to the new. Karma's what's new. It's what's hot. It's what's sexy, I dare say. Where'd you get that much power? It ain't mine. That's why I hate it. Borrowed power. He a sucker. Stop. Stay away. Okay, so Garo was visibly afraid that he was able to just rip off his arm. Fair enough. Keen and Boruto's karma starts to react. But why are they reacting together? Why would the two karmas be reacting together? That's what we need to figure out before they tell us. What the? It feels like something is flowing. It feels like something's flowing into me. What's going on? I wasn't told about anything like this. Damn it. All right. So Garo is afraid for his life now. So we can assume that this attack is meant to kill him. We can assume that this attack is meant to kill Kawaki. He doesn't have to say it. Honestly. And this is how I do things for anime. In a moment like this, where he's like, get the hell away from me, where'd you get this much power? We don't need to be told at this point, this is meant to really hurt, injure, or kill Kawaki at this point. I think that's a fair assessment to make, given Garo's state of mind. Now, Kawaki, he walks to the blast unimpressed. And he absorbs it. See, I thought he was going to do some gangster shit like tank it. I thought he was gonna do some fly shit, like just put up his hand and like just throw it, like when Shunsui blocked Chad's attack and threw it in the manga, bro. I got so hyped because it was one shot and everybody, but he absorbs it. He absorbed the blast, just how Boruto did. All right. So he walks straight to Garo. Garo can do nothing at this point. He's already fired his probably strongest attack at Kawaki, and he just absorbed it. And he does like what Obito did to the Hit and Miss Ninja, wood style splinter jutsu, and he busts a hole right through his chest into the back of him. He ran him through with one blow. That's crazy. Now here's the thing. Why is that crazy? Is it crazy because it happened? Or is it crazy because it was able to happen? What's Konohamaru basing this off of? See, this is why I don't like Konohamaru. He's weak. I really do not like him. Why is he a Jonin? Alright. But anyways, the important thing is Kawaki beat Garo. I warned you. I said you'd lose more than just your chin this time. Wait, please. I'm sorry. I swear. So please don't. He loads up his blast. Your breath stinks, pig. And he blasts him point blank. And that's a pretty big blast. It encapsulates both of them in a lot more space than it needed to. I get that energy absorption is a useful hack, but I greatly prefer when series don't have that. I agree 100%. Energy absorb, like, I'll say this. Here's the thing, and we can talk about other series that do it. When it happened in Dragon Ball, it made it a slightly interesting twist. But then, I'm trying to remember the mangaka's name. Not Toriyama. No, yeah. But then Toriyama only had 2 people able to do it, and then he got rid of them very quickly. Right? It was a cool novelty for a while. Oh, I can absorb your energy. I can absorb Ki Blast. I can't have my energy sense and I'm absorbing you. It was cool. But then he got rid of them. Right? Then we go to Bleach, where Ukitake right now, I think, is the only one that can actually absorb energy like he does. And it's only one person, and it's not even that overpowered. It's really not that OP. And we don't even get to see it too much. Right? We get to things like, I don't even know what else has energy absorption. But when we get to Naruto, this just becomes a spam thing. It becomes so overused. And it's like, why use any ninjutsu at all at this point? I have to solely rely on something that can't get absorbed. Like a intangible hacks. You know what I mean? Sasuke pops Amaterasu. Oh, I'm gonna absorb it. Naruto does a big Rasengan. Oh, I'm gonna absorb it. Garo shoots a blast at Kawaki. Oh, I'm gonna absorb it. It gets really, really wild. LOL. Konohamaru would shit bricks if he witnessed Naruto's first Rasengan that tore through the water tank. No. Not this Konohamaru. I'll give him more credit than that, bro. It's just like, I think Konohamaru is just overall trash. He's like overall trash. Like, he shouldn't be a Jonin of Team 7. Team 7 is an iconic team. He should not be their Jonin. And here's the thing. Why isn't anyone of Naruto's generation better? Like, they're all mid. You mean to tell me they all fought the 4th Great Shinobi War? No one got inspired to become stronger? No one got the impetus to surpass themselves? Like, I would have rathered Sasuke be the goddamn Jonin of Team 7. It would have made a lot of sense. I would have rathered that, because at least then we would get more interesting fights out of Sasuke, and it would make sense that he's leading the team. He'd be having his son, Naruto's son. I mean, he'd be having his daughter, Naruto's son, and Orochimaru's child. Tell me that's not a great fucking setup. Konohamaru is more shocked at the brutality. Okay, good. That's better. Still amused that Konohamaru could beat one of the paths of pain. Yeah, I mean, no. So here's the thing, Michael. When you scale the series correctly, things like that don't surprise you anymore because you realize Konohamaru doesn't need to scale the Pain's chakra levels. He doesn't need to scale the Pain's AP to be able to beat a Pain, right? All you have to do is output more AP than they have durability. It's really not hard in Naruto, and then you find out they don't really have high durability. But hey, it's not surprising to me. Like when we get to the Shinju trees getting beat by Konohamaru using Rasengan, you're not going to see me say, oh my God, how did that happen? I'm going to look at it and say, yeah, that's how the series scales. That's supposed to happen. All right, so the blast is pretty big. It gives off a pretty big shockwave. It even pushes the scientist, I think this is, back. And Garo is completely, his upper half is completely gone. It's destroyed. Delta and Kashin Koji see this. Okay. It's pretty destructive. I want to say it covers a decent amount of the forest as far as the aftermath of it. Okay, cool. And this crater completely dwarfs the crater he had made before. This is a decent feat. Now, here's the thing. So this attack, it's almost the equivalent of a Biju bomb, in that its size is really, really big. But here's the thing. It did it made this whole crater, but it wasn't able to completely erase Garo. His lower half still survived, but it covered the entire area that he was in. But that makes sense because Garo, his face and his body got the full brunt of the attack. So that would have gotten all the energy first, and everything after that would have expanded outward. So that makes sense. That makes sense. Now, I need to know if someone on the website, I need to know if anyone calced this actually, but we don't really get to see the creator's depth, I don't think, or maybe not yet, we don't. Ho ho, well done Kawaki, blasting that bothersome Konoha bunch to bits as well. Such a good boy. Look closely, Delta. Seems like he's just as able. Oh, he would have blasted them to bits if Boruto didn't absorb it. Or at least that's what's being inferred by Delta. So Boruto, which I think is a fair assumption actually, but that's wild. So you mean to tell me they were not even close to that attack and they would have been destroyed by it? That's what's being intimated here. Boruto, he protected us. And this is Konohamaru? Boruto, he protected us by absorbing the other boy's attack. What kind of a Jonin are you, bro? Oh my fucking... Still amused that Konohamaru could... Oh yeah, we already read that. Even Rock Lee, yeah. To give Konohamaru credit, he did what Orochimaru and Minato did with being better at Tobirama's invented jutsu. He became better than Naruto at his own creation sexy jutsu. Yeah, that's disgraceful. Wow, he did a Gillian level attack. I'm so impressed. Well, no, so I'll say this though, right? The fact that Kawaki also survived his own attack gives him credence that he has the durability to at least survive this much. We don't know. I don't know how much damage this is. But him being at the center of his own attack that he survived is good, right? It means he does scale with his own attack. That's good. That's something. But then again, when he attacks Damon, he gets knocked out by his own attack. He doesn't get killed, but he does get knocked out by it. So that's kind of weird. But hey, Yeah, he might be able to clear the East Blue. Neat. Now we have a crater height from Boruto's platform. If you want to do it like that, I guess that's kind of fair. It really depends, though. This is an interesting shot because we need a minimum of how far Boruto is away. Okay. Now, I'm not really good with pixel scaling, which is why I would need people for this. But once we get the values, we can start talking numbers and stuff. All right. So with this attack, then here's the thing. That attack technically wasn't more impressive. Where is it? Oh, it's in the last chapter. All right, yeah, I'm just gonna say this. That attack, technically, scaling wise, wasn't more impressive than when Kawaki woke up with his rage and made a whole crater. And I'm saying that based on the simple fact. I'm saying that based on the fact that we see the Earth was displaced. Yes, but he's not in a crater. Right? He's not in a crater. He's flattened everything around him, but he hasn't made a crater, which means the energy was only really surface, like it was very low surface level. What is this? Maybe a foot? No, maybe if we take let me see. I wish I had my marker. How do I do a marker on here? Anyways, let me do it like this. We'll do it'd be like 1, 2, 3, 4. That's maybe like, I don't want to do it like that because I'm going to be off. I think that's like maybe a 3 to 4 foot. No, it's not. I'm wrong. That's like a 2 to 3 to 4 foot drop though. So yeah. What I don't like about the whole android/robot characters in Shonen is the mangaka used that censor real damage. He blew up his torso and it means nothing. Explain that for me better, Ronin. Explain it for me a little better. What are you trying to say? I'll read it again too. What I don't like about the whole android/robot characters in Shonen is that mangaka used that censor real damage. Censor real damage. I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, explain that a little better. He blew up his torso and it means nothing. Yeah, and well, here's the thing. We don't know how strong Garo was. So yes, in essence, it does mean nothing. Well, here's the thing. We know Konohamaru was scared shitless, but that doesn't tell us shit because I don't think Konohamaru is shit anyway. I think Konohamaru is very low tier. I think he's garbage at this point. I think he's a bad sensei. I think they need to fire him. But it really doesn't tell us anything. It tells us that Konohamaru thinks the threat level moved to S class or S tier or whatever, but it doesn't give us any basis for Garo's strength at all. Like, we would have to be using the calcs here, which is fine, but ultimately we don't know if Garo was enhanced like that. There's just too many unknowns with different factions. As far as like, you got the cyborgs now, you got the ninja, you got the Otsutsuki, they all work differently. We know how the ninja scaling work, but now we have introduction to cyborgs. And like I said, guys, keep this in mind. Kawaki hasn't been confirmed or stated to be using chakra at this point at all. So this would all just be his physical amps from his cybernetics and or the karma. Basically, you can do more graphic damage to... Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. Okay, gotcha. That's true, because even on Invincible, like, Mark be going ham with the robots. I got you, though. Okay, so now we get a better shot, I guess. We get a better shot. So, yeah, I would like someone to calc a minimum of how deep this is from the ground, and from here being the edge of the page to this edge of the page, how much he covered. Because that would be a good DC feat, but then we would have to derive the AP from it Yeah, we'd have to derive the AP from it, which would be really hard. It would be kind of hard to do. It would be kind of hard to do. All right, for someone who claims to not know about karma, you sure have pretty good command of it. Oh yeah, I really have no clue what the heck I'm doing. Don't play dumb. Go home and tell Jigen that if he keeps chasing me, the dead bodies are just gonna pile up. Hey, you're starting to tick me off. Can't you just listen to me? He really thinks they're with Jigen. If they were with Jigen, why didn't they help Garo capture your ass? Oh my god. He said Konohamaru and Team 7 is exhausted from the fight with Ao this moment. They fought a single man. Stop it, bro. They fought a single person. And all of them are exhausted? I ain't buying it. Like, we know chakra is based on stamina, and your stamina comes back just by resting, right? You can't tell me Konohamaru hasn't had ample time to rest to the point where he couldn't save none of his team from that attack. He's just mid, bro. No mistake, the two karmas were definitely resonating with each other, but why? Is this why Jigen is so obsessed with karma? I need more intel. Alright, don't know what's happening. Smoke is around him, don't know what's going on. Huh. He drops to a knee. He drops. Okay, so the karma is gone now. Damn it. If only I didn't have this thing. Huh, hey. So he gets tired out from using the karma. This is what they call overheating. Okay, so that's a drawback. You can overheat from using karma too much. Huh? What do you mean? Given how he fought, I wonder if his body's... Yeesh, it can't be helped. Can I go ahead and dispose of the entire Konoha bunch, Koji? Actually, Delta, don't interfere. Huh? Alright, so they got Kawaki. Just as I suspected, this boy's body is far from ordinary. Well, duh, that's pretty obvious watching the last battle. Old man AO, and the big guy were both full of ninja tools. No, this boy's body is a whole other thing altogether. Huh? In short, you could say his very existence is a scientific ninja tool. Cool. Cool. So I think it's safe to definitely presume Kawaki has no idea what chakra is or how to use it. Not to say he doesn't have it. That's a different thing. But then again, he might not, depending on his genetic or depending on his organic makeup. Organic. Depending on his anatomy. I don't know, right? Because we don't know what Amado did. Not really. Are we going to presume he made every android / cyborg the same? We could. But, we don't know for sure. But no. The fact that he can absorb chakra, but I'm pretty sure he has no idea what chakra is also proof that everyone does have chakra, number one. But yeah. It takes away the reader's otherwise guttural reaction. I'm hoping that was a typo, unless I have to look that word up. And the impact of the scene. It also makes bad guys easier to redeem down the line when most of their kills are technically not people. Oh, I got you. That makes sense. What are you thinking, Kashin Koji? You intend on letting them take the vessel? That's right. I know my mission, and I will bring the vessel home at some point. But after gleaning more intel, glean means to gather or collect bit by bit. After gleaning more intel, not immediately. See, this is where she should have outed him as a traitor and fought him right here. Look, I know I'm the one who brought Garo in. That idiot talked way too much. I think we should at least get rid of the Konoha bunch. It's useless to fret about intel leakage now. We were past that point once the airship dropped. Besides, regardless of what they know or don't know, they're going to yield to a greater power in the end. Soon, whether it wants to or not, the world shall learn the name and fearsomeness of Kata. Fine, Jigen did warn me to follow your lead, so I guess I'll play along. This is amazing. See, here's the thing though. Jigen wouldn't have had a problem if she brought Kawaki back right now. Because he's not supposed to be out there in the first place. So what information do you need to glean that's going to help the endeavors of Kara? She's dumb. He's smart, and I like that. She's stupid. This is amazing. The boy's blood vessels, nervous system, you name it. It's all been modified. Okay. The boys. Okay. So here's what we can do. I want to say we can presume this is the case for every cyborg. But there's a statement in Boruto that leads me to believe that not every cyborg was made equally. God damn, my computer's about to die again. 10%. All right, hold on. I'm talking about real love. I'm talking about real love. Ho, ho, ho. Cool. Bottom one. Okay. The boy's blood vessels, nervous system, you name it. It's all been modified. So that means muscles, tissue, fibers, joints, ligaments, tendons. He says it's all been modified. Now, here's another thing. We don't need to cut Kawaki open to believe this statement. This man is a pioneer in the field of scientific ninja tools. So if he's saying at a glance that it's all been modified, we can take that as a fact. We don't need to do an autopsy on Kawaki to verify that he's all modified. We can take this in good faith. Now, what this does for the series is it tells us that at least Kawaki and maybe a few of the other cyborgs, this would give credence. This would actually make sense why he can withstand his own blast. That would make sense. It would make sense why he can perform the way he does despite my thinking or thoughts of him not knowing how to manipulate chakra. If everything's already being enhanced for him, why would he need to even learn chakra at this point? Using technology similar to, if not even more advanced than Lord Seven's artificial hand. I can't believe a scientist with this much know-how exists. You can't compare this boy to Lord Ao or that big man. His body is a work of art. Okay, so the outers, well, I mean, they're outers, so I guess they didn't get outfitted with anything, to be honest. But yeah. Well, no, that's not true, because he's saying you can't compare it to Owls, which means Owls was outfitted with scientific ninja tools, just not on the level of Kawaki, so that's fine. It excites me to know there's another genius like me out there. This is no time to be celebrating, right? What are we going to do with him? Can you fix him? No can do. I thought you were just as smart. What's Mitsuki doing? This fellow genius, did he create this boy from scratch using cloning technology like what was done with me? It looks like they just found that out. What? Huh? You didn't know? I'm a clone of the Shinobi Orochimaru, an artificially created human. Artificially created. Yeesh. You don't just drop a bomb like that so calmly and smoothly. My head is starting to hurt. Not to play, putting respect on ninja scientists like shit. Hey man, respect when respect is due. Would a Byakugan work on such physiology? The gentle fist should still work. All right, here's where that's a great question. That's a great question. That is a beautiful question. That is a beautiful question. And here's how we can look at it. And I might have to take back something I said. Let me ask you guys something. When let me ask this to Karibo, because I don't know yet actually. When the karma absorbs ninjutsu, does that energy go to the person that absorbed it? If the answer is yes, that means the energy is circulating throughout their body once they absorb it, which means there has to be a chakra pathway, right? Which would also in turn mean that the Byakugan can affect said chakra pathway. Now, if they just absorb it and it goes into the abyss, and that's just energy that they have stored in another place, like how some things work, then that's a little more tricky. And I wouldn't be inclined to say the Byakugan can absorb it, especially in Kawaki's case, being that he's different entirely. He's entirely different. So that's a great question, actually. Yeah, I'm talking about the Byakugan itself, not the Taijutsu paired with it. Okay. Yeah, the Byakugan itself, if you mean just being able to see Kawaki and what all he has stored in him. Well, here's the thing. I think Kawaki's ability works a lot like nanotech and Tony Stark, where he can kind of fit things to be what he imagines them to be, kind of, but there's clear limitations, obviously. But yeah, the Byakugan itself should definitely be able to see through it. It depends if they can it depends. If they convert it into an attack and launch it, no. If they absorb it into their body, it converts to their own chakra. Likely goes into the karma marks that appear and disappears with the mark itself. So it can't see through lead. I kid. Yeah. Let me read that again. If they can convert it into an attack and launch it. Oh, if they convert it, not if they can. If they convert it into an attack and launch it, no. If they absorb it into their body, it converts to their own chakra. Okay, cool. So then, yes. Even though Revenant didn't ask that question, the answer for how I'm answering it would be yes, that the Byakugan works. The gentle fist would work on him because he does still have a chakra circulatory system. All right. So we found out Mitsuki's a clone. Lord Seven secretly told me about Mitsuki, so I know that the technology used on this boy is different. You were organically created through genetic engineering, but this boy was remodeled into something other than human, using inorganic techniques. Techniques? That's a weird word to use. I could understand using inorganic means, inorganic materials. What would inorganic techniques look like? What would that look like? Those members of Carter called this boy a vessel, and the vessel was also that crashed airship's cargo that Al was searching for. So he was the cargo. Okay. He must be highly valuable to them, and yet he's a mountain of vital intel to us. Well, we can't just leave him here either way. Let's take him back to the village. Look at Boruto having to make all the decisions of the team. He has to save the team. He has to decide whether or not they're going to fight Kawaki. He has to decide to take Kawaki back to the village. Why is Konohamaru here? Does Kawaki have chakra points? Yes. Based on this, Kawaki absolutely has chakra points. / chakra network like a normal human, or is he like a tree? No, he definitely has chakra points and chakra networks. The chakra points are just pressure points with a few extra. I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that, because depending on how his chakra system is arranged, the gentle fist might not be effective. I do agree with that, Ronin. I do agree with that. We would actually have to see. I would like to see an encounter of someone using gentle fist on him to make a clear determination. But I definitely agree with that. The fact that he's been remodeled inside and out, the argument can definitely be made that his chakra network would even work differently than other people's. You could definitely make that argument. I'm not mad at that. Take him home, back to the village to my dad. Right. All right, cool. So before we jump into the next chapter, I do want to go over Karibo's last statement that he made. Just real quickly. So, whoa. Oh, no, not this. So, yeah. Karibo made a long comment in the last video that we were reviewing. And so what I went ahead and did was I just put it in my notes to make it more clear and digestible. So we're just going to review this now. So Karibo says, I know it took up a bunch of time. I'm just going to cover a hopefully short list of things from my memory. Using Unohana for any kind of scaling is questionable, especially for speed. If you require some kind of measurable feat for Unohana, who only gets one fight in an isolated environment, it's a link that goes nowhere. So, here's my thing. We already have a great grasp of how so before I even go there, we know the power system works off of Reiatsu. The more you have, the better your perception, the better your speed, the better your strength, the better, etc., etc., etc. Unohana was able to combat blitz Kenpachi with his eye patch off, injure him, eye patch off, several times, in fact, maybe even hundreds of times in their fight. Kenpachi is not a character that exists in a vacuum. Kenpachi has had many fights, and right before he fought Unohana, he beat 3 Stern Ritters himself. All the Stern Ritter are at least as strong as captains, being that they're part of the Stern Ritter, and they all have Bankai stealing medallions. So you wouldn't get a Bankai stealing medallion if you weren't at least as strong as a captain. Kenpachi beat 3 of them. Unohana speed blitzes and one-shots Kenpachi several times in their fight. At a very minimum, she's 10 times stronger than him. This is not even cap. That's at a bare minimum. I'm giving her 10 times stronger than Kenpachi just on the fact that he has to die maybe hundreds of times to catch up to her power. Constantly unlocking shackle after shackle after shackle after shackle. And this isn't even Kenpachi that gets his Shikai or Bankai. Mind you, he awakens to his Shikai / Bankai, or his Shikai after the fight. He awakens to it, right? But he doesn't even use it. This is him just regaining his power over whatchamacallit. So to say her scaling is shaky or unquestionable is a little weird, being that she's also stated and has the feats to prove that no other Shinigami aside from Yama would have been stronger than her at the time. Like, Shunsui wouldn't have been relying on her to train him if he thought he could do it and get more out of it. He wouldn't have did that, right? It almost goes against itself. He wouldn't do that. Now, as for flow, chakra into rocks, you forgot that earth style exists. Mud Wall is the most commonly used earth-style jutsu, or earth jutsus used. Genjutsu targets nerves. The misconception about the target requiring a chakra network stems from a breaking Genjutsu, which is disrupting one's flow. Pain / a shock to the nerves can be used to escape Rika Genjutsu. Alright, my response to this is, and I'll read it again. As for flow, as far as flowing chakra into a rock, Ab-Stract, I forgot that earth style existed. I forgot that Mud Wall is the most commonly used earth style jutsu used. and that Genjutsu targets nerves. The misconception about the Genjutsu requiring chakra network stems from a break in Genjutsu, which is disrupting one's flow. Well, that's not where it stems from me, but that's fine, I guess, if that's where you want it to stem from. Now, my response to this is, I didn't forget that Earth style existed, but I do believe you are conflating flow with coat or to insert. Let's take this example and replace chakra with blood. If I do a blood transfusion with a rock, will the rock begin to flow the blood throughout its composition? The answer is no. The answer is no, because the rock doesn't have a circulatory system, nor even anything close to the components to achieve this. Now, would you still be able to insert blood into the rock and coat the rock with blood? Of course. But in the context of what we're talking about, this wouldn't be the same thing as having blood flow through the rock. This is also the same reason why you can't place inanimate objects under Genjutsu. Let's put them being not alive aside. They physically lack the proper systems to make it possible. Right? A rock doesn't have a nervous system. It doesn't have a chakra circulatory system. It doesn't have a consciousness. But let's just assume for a minute that the rock was alive. It doesn't have those things, therefore it cannot be placed under Genjutsu. Same thing with the blood example. I can insert blood into a rock, right? But that rock will not begin to circulate blood within the rock. It won't do it because it doesn't have the things that make that happen. So I didn't forget about Mud Wall. I didn't forget about Earth Style. I do believe, though, you are conflating what I'm talking about as far as flow and coat or to insert. I'm talking about that. Yeah. Also, this is the same reason why. No. I already said that. Yeah. So let's bring up Neji, right? Let's do this. Because we're talking about being able to flow something into something versus being able to code it or insert something into something else. They are not the same thing. So, unlike the taijutsu that Lee and I specialize in, which is all about breathing, beatings, bruisings, and broken bones, a style its proponents call Goken or Ferocious Fist. The Hyuga clan employs Juken or Gentle Fist to inflict damage to the enemy's chakra network through which the chakra flows. That leads to the breakdown of the internal organs, destroying the foe from within. Now I'll ask all you guys a question. If Neji hits a boulder with the Gentle Fist, would he be able to send his chakra to the boulder's core? Answer that question. If Neji strikes a huge boulder with the Gentle Fist, would he be able to send his chakra to the boulder's core? Let me read some comments while we do that. Because depending on how chakra system is arranged, the Gentle Fist might not be effective. I agree with that. Holy shit, Zenless Zone Zero's PS5 version is ray tracing, and I turned the ton and it looks so good. I don't know what that means. It would be like attacking Nemu in her soul sleep. She doesn't have that weakness. If Amado is as great a scientist as the story portrays him as, then I like to think he also removed the points, in my opinion. It's not a bad thing to think about, but I'm for one that needs hard evidence. Neji versus the treehouse that gave me a sliver when I was 10. Who wins? Maybe, but don't know for certain. Well, we here's the thing, Michael, right? We can know for certain because we're told directly how the Gentle Fist works, right? It doesn't look like much, but the effect grows gradually after the initial attack. There's no way of strengthening the internal organs, so an enemy struck with that blow is going to succumb. Then we get the explanation. The chakra network is a kind of network of energy lines spread throughout our bodies in much the same way as the human circulatory system. It's like a system of vessels that carry chakra throughout our bodies. Why is this important? We should know why this is important. All right, hold up. He says, Mudwall is never coded in chakra. During the Naruto training exam, they use Genjutsu on the second floor of the building, so those that are there believe they're on the third floor. All right. Listen, what I'm talking about is two different things. Well, what you're talking about is two different things, first off. I'm not saying Mudwall is coded in chakra, right? I'm saying you can insert chakra into something to manipulate it, but that doesn't mean that thing has a circulatory system for chakra. That's what I'm saying. Right? As for your Genjutsu thing, no, you're not putting Genjutsu on a surrounding. You're using a Genjutsu to cover a surrounding or something like that. You're not putting the building itself under Genjutsu is essentially what I'm getting at, right? Like, if I used Genjutsu to make this look like something else, I'm not putting the water bottle under Genjutsu. I'm using Genjutsu on your perception to make this look like something else. It never changed. Flow and coat. Your breath, flow and coat. You breathe through your nose. If air is pumped into your ears, would you breathe? One has a natural flow, the other is just insertion. Thank you, Ronin. That is exactly what we're talking about. One is natural, one is inordinary, one is forced, right? So, I'm not talking about just coding. When we talk about weapons, we can talk about coding because the weapons definitely get coded in chakra. But if we're talking about like manipulating earth with chakra, that's exactly what's happening. They're inserting chakra into the earth to manipulate it. But this isn't the same as chakra flowing through the earth void of that manipulation, right? When I'm talking about flow, and we'll get to this too, hold up. Oh, like passageways for chakra. So back to what Michael said. Michael said, maybe, we don't know for sure. Well, no, we do know for sure because rocks don't have passageways for chakra. We're going to get to that. Yes, and it's delicately intertwined with the organs that manipulate chakra. Attack the chakra network and the organs will suffer as well. Right. Okay. Hold up. It doesn't say, it's understandable. No. I mean, this, no. Okay, cool. So what do we find out? They do. And gentle fist attacks are different from the purely brute force physical kind. You take your own chakra and release it through the energy portals in your hands, forcing it into the body of your foe, where it can inflict massive damage on the enemy's chakra network. So we find that the Hyugas attack by putting chakra in their hands, hitting the enemy with it, and then their own chakra goes and disrupts the chakra network and therefore the organs of their opponent. So we can deduce, using this information, that if you don't have chakra points or a chakra network, the gentle fist would actually be ineffective against you. That's literally logic 101. That's how it works. Let me know if I'm wrong, though. Let me know if I missed a step. Let me know if I'm incorrect about anything I just said. Did all that make sense? Konohama was the kind of guy to think Jay-Z won the beef between him and Nas. Hey, yo, hindsight, bro. Actually, no, I'm not going to say that now. I'm going to, yeah. Django's hypnosis versus Naruto would be hilarious, mostly because he would incidentally be affected by it as well. I don't know who Django is, bro. Not sure who that is. But yes, the Hyuga point kind of encapsulates my point of things flowing and things being inserted or coded, right? Neji flows his chakra into his opponents. Why? Because they have a circulatory system for that chakra to flow. That's literally how it works. He's not forcing like an insertion type thing. Like, for example, if you take a electrical grid, and that's a little harder because I'm in telecommunications, but I don't know the like complete ins and outs. So I don't even want to do that. I guess it's just best with blood, right? The reason transfusions work so well is because our bodies are already adapted to carry blood throughout our body. That it's already made The body came ready to be able to transport blood throughout the blade, throughout the veins, throughout the muscles, throughout the brain, throughout all that stuff. When you take a thing that doesn't have these components, it's not going to work the same. So like I said, we can deduce the boulder would not be impacted by Neji's gentle fist because it does not have a circulatory system. So when we're talking about Genjutsu, to bring this point home, especially in the case of Sharingan Genjutsu where they're inserting chakra via the optic nerves, right? That chakra still has to flow into the person and get to their brain. And if we can see here, if we can see here, chakra points do exist in these areas. So any character that does not have a chakra network will not be affected by a genjutsu that has to flow through their body. But this is also why I say real-time illusions and quote-unquote placed genjutsus would work on everybody because they're just illusions projected into reality, right? They're not trying to mess with the psyche, mind, or inner world of another being via chakra to the brain. That's not what's happening. So, easiest analogy, pouring water into acid. That actually does work, yeah. Django is a pirate in One Piece, former vice captain of the Black Cat Pirates, and now a marine officer. Oh, he's a turncoat. Okay, pouring water into acid versus pouring water into an empty container. Something without a chakra network. That's kind of fair because I mean the water is going to shape and conform to whatever it's poured in technically, whereas the water in the acid is going to be disturbed or disintegrated or whatever, or boiled. My fault. The gentle fist would still work. All right, explain to me, Karibo, how the gentle fist would work on an individual that doesn't have a tenketsu, a chakra network. What would they be flowing their chakra through, and how would it impact their organs if it has to travel? Because that's the whole point of this breakdown. Neji has to insert his chakra into your chakra points, and then that will cause damage into your internal organs. He fell for a hot marine captain, but his affections are unreciprocated. So he's a simp. That boy left the Black Cat Pirates for some cat, and now he's a simp. That's crazy. That's funny though. All right, let's go into your other claim though. You say Soul Crush has always required equalization to work because Bleach has very specific terms for these things and how they interact, but the community and story brushes over them with soul body, spiritual energy, and specific term for the pressure caused by spiritual energy. If we apply an equal standard, chakra has more reason to apply across any verse that mentions stamina or the common real life pressure points that correspond with chakras. Now, let's read that slowly for clarification. Your claim is that Soul Crush has always required equalization. And that's because Bleach has very specific terms for these things and how they interact with the community. And the story, and apparently us, the fans, brush over these things. Brush over these things in the specific terminology like soul body, spiritual energy, and specific terms for spiritual pressure. Now that's interesting. So my response to that is your initial claim of Soul Crush has always needed verse equalization to work. It isn't addressed in your argument at all. You really just make mention of some Bleach specific terminology. What I would need to see is when it's stated, suggested, or shown that Soul Crush has a limitation to the Bleach world only. That's what I would say, right? And I'll read that again. Your initial claim of Soul Crush has always needed verse equalization to work isn't addressed in your argument at all. And it's not. Because your argument is that we, the fans, in the story brushes over the specifics and terminology of it. That's not telling us that Soul Crush is limited to Bleach. Sadly, that's not. Right? And for the second part of your argument, where you say if we apply an equal standard of chakra, it has more reason to apply cross-verse. That mentions stamina or the common real-life pressure points that corresponds with chakras. My response to this would be, stop asking me if I want to sign in. My response to this would be, I understand your argument of chakra having a stronger claim of being applied cross-verse. Don't get me wrong. I understand it, right? As far as it being physical energy and spiritual/mental energy, right? Because that's something that technically every verse does and should have. The issue, however, comes when you I'll just read it. The issue you're going to run into, though, is you would have to show me a verse that purposefully or unconsciously mixes these two energies together to get something new called chakra, right? There's that, and the fact that every other verse is also missing a chakra network that would transport and deliver chakra to where it needs to go. So on that front, I understand what you're talking about, right? You're saying that technically Naruto has the most claim to be a verse that can have its energy system work in every energy system. I get what you're saying, but on a technicality, yes, chakra is referred to as the individual thing, stamina, physical energy, and mental energy. It's referred to those things, no doubt. But when we're talking about chakra colloquially, we're talking about the mixing and using that energy for a purpose. It's not just a resting energy. It's not just a separate energy. It is those energies combined to get something new to use for a purpose called jutsu, right? Not any verse actually does that. So while every verse might have chakra at a basic level, because every verse does have stamina, physical energy, and mental energy, that's a fact, only Naruto unconsciously or consciously mixes these energies together to get something new called chakra colloquially. I hope all that made sense. Question, which makes Tenten look worse? The manga version of her Tamari fight where it is just skips to her laid on the fan, weapons on the ground, or the anime showing Tamari hard counter everything? I've never even read that fight, but if I had to guess, I'll say this. I appreciated the anime version, especially since I never read the manga version. I appreciated Tenten trying, at least. I like that aspect of it, but nah. Aren't pressure points somewhat based in pseudoscience? Couldn't different verses have different effects for affecting pressure points? Yes, that's true. I agree. It is based on pseudoscience, but I am a fan of the metaphysics and pseudoscience. For me, pressure points wouldn't be something that I'm incapable of granting to another verse. My thing is if we're going to be right though, if you're gonna tell it, then tell it all. That's my thing. I have no problem saying this verse has pressure points, but that's not a chakra network. Meridians do exist, pressure points do exist. That's not a chakra network, though. You would have to be able to prove that these other verses create and transport chakra within their bodies. That would be like saying Ghost Rider's penance there wouldn't work cross-verse. Thank you. Exactly. The only thing that would stop Ghost Rider's penance there is a stronger, hacked out person. But everyone would be subject to the penance there. Yeah, so that would be like saying Ghost Rider's penance there wouldn't work cross-verse. A soul is a soul. There's no two ways about that. Chakra is interpreted differently by different authors. Thank you. Perfect sense. Michael, the pressure points are generally clumps of nerves. Yeah, I can agree with that, Kribo. Would Kenshido's Hokuto Shinken work cross-verse? Kenshido. I don't know who that is, bro. Sorry, Mugetsu. I'm not sure who that is. But, Karibo, I hope all that made sense. Let's read my last part. Or this is your last part. Oh, yeah, I didn't even reply to this because I think I can do this on the fly. So, the double standard that comes from expanding the reach for terms in Bleach while fighting against the everything to narrow the scope of chakra. Whenever you pull up the Sakura panel where internally their energy is considered stamina, and when used for ninjutsu, it's called chakra. You must realize Ebisu does the explanation later again because, as the series goes, calling both chakra. Genjutsu has even worked under Edo Tensei. Itachi's crow freed him from with Genjutsu and Sasuke, and Edo and Itachi saved each other from Genjutsu by using Genjutsu on each other. Looking forward to you catching up on Boruto. I fuck with it. So let's do this line by line. We'll put an indent here. We'll put an indent here. The double standard that comes from expanding the reach for terms in Bleach while fighting against the everything to narrow the scope of chakra. Alright. If I think what you're saying is true, you're saying that I think you're saying that I'm more lenient on Bleach's interpretation of things than I am Naruto's. That's the gist of what I think you're saying. You're saying the double standard that comes from expanding the reach for terms in Bleach while fighting against the everything to narrow the scope of chakra. Here's the thing, and I kind of just already admitted to this. Everyone can have chakra in the show on a basic way. Stamina, physical energy, spiritual/mental energy, right? That's not what the verse colloquially refers to or regards as chakra, though. They know it to be the energy that exists within the body, chakras, but when we're talking ninjutsu, we're talking about the actual molding and forming for the purpose of jutsu. That's what they and we are talking about when we talk about chakra. So I'm willing to include it in there, but I'm not willing to say every person in all of anime has chakra the same way ninja have chakra. That wouldn't be true. And it wouldn't work that way. And they don't have chakra systems, number one. So there's also that. Alright. The soul is also interpreted differently by authors. Saying a soul is the problem. Alright, so here's the thing. Karibo, argue to me, what about the soul what about a soul is intrinsically different to the degree that chakra would be different to another series? I hope that question makes sense. I'm trying to ask you, because I'm not going to lie to you. It doesn't matter how the soul is depicted, because the soul is what comes after death, right? The soul is the next stage after the physical body is no longer with us alive, or whatever, however you want to say it. The commonality between the soul across verses is more consistent and coherent than it is with chakra. So that's what I would say with that. All right. So the double standard that comes from, I covered that. Whenever you pull up the Sakura panel where internal energy is considered stamina, and when used for ninjutsu, it's called chakra. So here's the thing. Stamina is chakra. Stamina is chakra. Physical energy is chakra. And spiritual/mental energy is chakra. They're called the chakras. But that's why I keep going back to colloquial word or the colloquial meaning for chakra. Because no one in Naruto, when they talk about chakra, no one ever says, oh my God, I'm low on physical energy. They don't say that. It would be weird. No one says, oh goodness, I don't have enough mental or spiritual energy for this jutsu. They don't say that. That would be weird, right? They refer to chakra as the combination of all those things because colloquially, that's what chakra is considered, right? So I'm not going to fall for the loophole of everyone has chakra. Look, this is how it's described. No, that's not how it's described. It's how it's defined within the series, but colloquially, and that's an important word because it means how everyone views it in this day and age and time. and how it's accepted, right? That's not how it works. All right. I need to reread because I'm struggling to remember when Kenshido interacted with an actual ghost. One smart. No, it is only presented differently. The interpretation is always an abstract spiritual form that exists in living things and exists after the death in some form in the afterlife. Correct. Facts. I need an example, Karibo. Or not even an example. Yeah, no, I'm not going to do that. I ain't playing games with you. Let me stop. The premise is always consistent. That's true. Chakra in Naruto is vastly different from chakra in Avatar, The Last Airbender, for example. That's also very true. Yeah, Airbender only had like 8 chakra points up the back, right? That's correct. Root chakra, sacral chakra, navel chakra, throat chakra, crown chakra. I'm missing like 3, but you get the idea. I know my chakra points. You get the idea though. All right. Lastly, Genjutsu has even worked on the Edo Tensei. Itachi's crew freed him with Genjutsu, and Sasuke and Edo Itachi saved each other from Genjutsu. All right. So we do know that the Genjutsu bodies have chakra, right? We do know that, right? The Genjutsu. We do know that the Edo Tensei bodies actually have chakra in their actual bodies. So they meet the requirements for Genjutsu to work. They have a circulatory system, and they have chakra that can already be used to be taking control over anyway. So I'm not really seeing the astounding point that Edo Tensei can be put under Genjutsu. Because if you're trying to link it to spirits being put under Genjutsu, I'll tell you this. Spirits don't have a body, which means they don't have a chakra system that can be circulated to or whatever like that. Hold on. Why did Aang give up on enlightenment? Is he stupid? Nah, man. Aang wanted some pum-pum, man. You know. For Katara? Now, that sounds weird now, but I was once Aang's age watching Avatar The Last Airbender, so it's okay if I say it. I would have gave up enlightenment for Katara. You tripping, man. Y'all tripping. No, I wouldn't have. Not really. Not in hindsight. Because you can keep your enlightenment and still do all the stuff you want to do. Like, yeah, Aang was kind of dumb for that. Yo, Ab-Stract, I sent a vid recommended on Discord DMs. Got you, bro. We can definitely take a look at that. I want to finish this, though, because I kind of want to get back to reading Boruto. So, yeah, Genjutsu, working on spirits, has to be proven still to me. But even then, that would be weird because we know that the spirits are 100% chakra to a degree. It gets convoluted, actually. It gets convoluted. Unlocking these chakras granted Godu Patik immortality. Dude is like 400 years. Madara had more quantifiable chakra, but died of old age. Presentation is what we were talking about. By that standard, stamina should function similarly across verse. Does stamina not function similarly across verse? Is that not true, Karibo? Stamina is usually the measure of energy, right? And we can get into technicalities to where, like, in Bleach, everything's kind of reishi or reiatsu based, but we could liken that to their stamina pool. And in a versus matchup, we wouldn't say, oh, Byakuya doesn't have any stamina because he only has reiatsu and reishi. We wouldn't say that. We would say he does have stamina, but it would be based off of his reiatsu. That's what we would say. So even in that example, stamina is a unique qualifier that kind of binds all. It's a unique qualifier that applies to all verses. But not all stamina has to be specific mixture of energies. That is chakra. Exactly. But even with chakra, right? Chakra is so annoying because there's times when it's really specific and there's times when it's like really not bore out or explained at all. Chakra comes from your stamina for the use of jutsu, that is. Let me make this clear. Chakra already internally exists in everybody in Naruto. But for the use and purpose of jutsu, it is converted directly from your stamina, right? And you get your stamina from your mental and your physical energy. That is your stamina. It's directly converted from your stamina to chakra. So chakra is also its own thing. Chakra is not... stamina is also its own thing. Stamina is not chakra. You get your chakra from your stamina, though. Just because they're 1-to-1 doesn't mean or make them the same thing. Avatar has 8 chakra pools. That's different from the chakra points. Same thing, bro. Come on. Swag Realm of Soul is Boruto, not gonna lie. Once more, you said that the soul is also interpreted differently by authors. And no, you're pivoting from interpretation to presentation. Naruto has like 1 chakra pool. I'd also like to remind everyone, Bleach characters' durability and stamina far exceed their AP and overall Reiatsu. Ichigo was fighting his own full power sword for 3 months straight with 0 rest. Facts. Yeah, there are definitely times in Bleach where their durability can exceed their AP, but it's the reverse does sometimes happen where their AP does exceed their durability or whatever. Genjutsu having 2 chakra pools makes them special as fuck. Gotta turn in for the evening. Good night, folks. Hey, take it easy, Michael. Nice having you, bro. Always good having you. Always good seeing you. And while it was in his mind, the damage he took during the mental training was inflicted onto Ichigo's body. Facts. 100% true. 100% true. Because when you're fighting in your mind, I think etymologically mind, psyche, and soul are intertwined. So when Ichigo is fighting in his mind, he's going to take physical damage because that is his soul body being attacked still. Interpretation and presentation go hand in hand. I don't think that's true. I can interpret something an entire different way than I can present it. How I'm presenting it is... Well, okay, hold up. If you're talking about from the eyes of a writer... that's a tough one. I would need to hear that out in full. But let's go for a few more chapters, then we're going to end this. Maybe like 1 more chapter. All right, let's go. Oh, here we go. Ab-Stract, did you forget about chi blocking? Chi blocking in what regard? Chi blocking how? Does Naruto? I don't think Naruto works with chi. Fun fact, Kubo confirmed that Kido has its own energy type and doesn't drain Reiatsu, meaning Shinigami normally don't scale to their Kido. So it's even more impressive when they do scale. That's interesting. That must come from a Club Outside reading. That's tough, though. I didn't know that. Karibo, explain your chi blocking thing. I'm not too sure what you're talking about, Pat. Not too sure what you're talking about. More so, I really just need to know how it relates. I can't wait for you to see how bad Thousand Year Blood War, or no, TBV. I can't wait for you to see how bad Two Blue Vortex is at portraying the power of its characters. Hey, bro, listen, I'm hip. I haven't read it, but I've heard enough online. And like I said, Mugetsu, if you scale the series how it's supposed to be scaled, these things won't surprise you. You're not going to be dumbfounded by certain things. It's just going to be like, oh, well, I already know how the power system works. I already know where X character scales. This is a new character that has no feet. So, you know. But we'll get there when we get there. I'll try and do these quickly, though. All right. Who do they have in a bag? Kids. A lot of kids. Car is worse than Orochimaru. Goddamn. Is that the last child, Jigen? Yes, that's right. Treat him courteously, Amado. I told you, Kawaki, there's nothing to be afraid of. You're now one of my precious children. I want you to accept me as your father now. Once you do, you'll no longer be hollow. When you and I become parent and child for real, I shall give you a very special present. Jigen is a weirdo, bro. Gasp. Where? Don't worry. You're somewhere safe. Konoha Village. That's right. We couldn't just leave you there after all you used up all your energy and passed out. See, here's the thing. They keep referring to what he has as energy. They're not talking about chakra. I'm going to keep pointing this out because it's important. They're not talking about chakra here. Which is really making me think about the other cyborgs. One smart. I explained how a soul is generally interpreted by every author. In the abstract state, beyond physical existence that often exists in an afterlife upon a person's death. Facts. Avatar, remember Ty Lee? Their chakra pools would correspond with chakra points. Wait, what? Okay. Ab-Stract, did you forget about chi blocking? Avatar, remember Ty Lee? I do remember Ty Lee. Their chakra pools would correspond with chakra points. So are you saying let me make sure are you saying that Ty Lee could come into Naruto and shut off someone's chakra network by hitting their chakra points without using the gentle fist? Is that what you're saying? And then conversely, are you saying that Neji could go into the Avatar world and start hitting people's chakra points? I meant would not. Oh, hold up. Wait, what? Okay, I meant would not. All right, now I gotta go back. Remember Ty Lee. Their chakra pools would not correspond with chakra points. Is that what you're saying? I'm a little confused now. Ty Lee hits pressure points, not chakra points. That's true too. Ty Lee hits pressure points, not. Well, yeah, no, yeah, he's right. He's right. Ronin is on your ass, Kribo. Now we can talk at length. The pressure points are different from pools. I agree. They're not the same thing. What the? I can't move. Relax, we won't harm you. If we were going to eat you, we'd have done it already. My name is Uzumaki Naruto. I'm what's called the Hokage, the leader of this village, yada yada. Hokage, he's the leader. Huh, I don't look like it, right? I'm against this. It's too dangerous. You heard Konohamaru's report, right? Holding the enemy's precious card in your possession puts us in danger too. Kata is definitely going to make a move to take him back, and it's possible the boy himself is a spy. But that's exactly why I'm the most qualified for this, especially if they're real strong. This is unprecedented. Child or not, he's a security risk who'd normally be placed under strict confinement. Why have him be babysat personally by the Hokage? I'm a Jinchuriki, remember? Back when Kurama inside my belly was feared as the nine-tailed fox. Naruto can't even speak correctly. I might have been thrown into confinement too, if Old Man Third hadn't defended me. Old Man Third had no choice but to defend you. Never mind. I'm not even going to curse at him. He's not worth it. I understand what you're saying, but Kata is a problem that affects more than just Konoha. So this isn't something you can decide on your own. Yeah, I know. As you have seen, we detected extremely fine, almost microscopic scientific ninja tools over his body. Wow. That's actually crazy. And we believe that they are affecting peculiar changes upon his very cells. Ooh. So yeah, Kawaki's anatomy is just different at this point. Entirely. I meant would not work. The pressure points, okay. Can a shinobi live without a single drop of chakra flowing inside their bodies? Hey, Shinichi's back. What's good, Shinichi? Ronin has been floundering, as souls have different functions across series, so much so that they could be considered different things. People are using them, sharing a name to consider them all the same. What different function does the soul have that doesn't include animating the body or being a key component in the body's animation? What different function does the soul have that doesn't include animating the body or being a key component in its function? That's also a very good question. Can shinobi live without a single drop of chakra flowing inside of their bodies? But I'll say this, Ronin. Based on the conversation we've been having, depending on what you're asking, that's also a loaded question. Because in both instances, the answer is no. In both instances, the answer is actually no. Kawaki got a fresh ass taper. Kawaki actually is kind of fly. I do actually like that. Alright, and we believe that they're affecting peculiar changes upon his very cells. His body has the ability to suddenly expand due to super rapid cell division, as well as to instantly harden or soften. Yeah. So we can't use Kawaki as a parameter or standard for ninja. Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. For example, I myself observed him remodel part of his right arm into a giant spear-like weapon and attack a target. Who said that? Oh. In addition, its correlation to science is unclear, but he has a mysterious mark known as karma on his left palm. As far as we can tell, its main ability appears to be nullifying or disabling an opponent's jutsu. However, its full story, including how it works, is still unknown. They had a whole Kage summit for this. But what is quite clear is that he's a dangerous entity we shouldn't take our eyes off. And yet you said you don't intend to confine him? That's right. Instead, I'll be at his side at all times watching him. He won't be alone even for a second. But how will you fulfill your day-to-day duties then? Why are you talking, Chojuro? Didn't in the anime some little freaking upstarts from your village steal all the ninja tools and go on a rampage? Like, why are you speaking, bro? Stop. By the way, this is live footage. As you can see, Lord Hokage is maintaining his surveillance of the subject even now, this very minute, while also taking part in this conference. I see. Shadow Clone Doppelgangers, a useful jutsu indeed. Shut the fuck up, Kuretsuchi. I see. Shadow Clone Doppelgangers, useful. Shut up. That just blew me. Like, why are we acknowledging that shadow clones are useful in Boruto? Is this an anomaly to her? Can she not make clones? Can she not fulfill all her duties in a day-to-day without, like... Oh, God, I hate these Kage. I hate them. I personally am in favor of Naruto's course of action. Of course you are, Gar. You're a fucking... Let me stop. I like Gar. As a fellow Shinchuriki, I understand well the bitterness of being confined. Besides which, having Naruto watching him will give us more peace of mind. True. Than any physical cage. True. Well, I spent many years at the side of a Jinchuriki too. I wouldn't feel right if someone called for a kid to be confined. So no objections. I'm with the Hokage. It's unanimous. Thanks everyone. They called a summit. They called a summit for an event that happened in the Leaf Village in regards to a captive in the Leaf Village, and they wanted the 5 Kage's opinion. Y'all better go to hell. One thing though, this karma, your son also has one, right? Will he be alright? To be honest, I have no idea. I'm hoping that Boruto's presence will help ease that young man's bitter weariness. Who knows how things will play out? Look at him. He thinks he's Sasuke. Hey, where are you taking me? Home. My place. You're going to be living with me starting today. My wife's cooking real good. Look forward to it. And he's gone. I figured. Fool, you may be Hokage or whatever, but I ain't going to let you use me as you like. And Naruto showed up before he did. Yo. What the? I took a straight route, but he's able to get ahead of me despite taking a much more roundabout course. That's crazy. A bit short for a pre-meal run, but you done? Let's go. He doesn't even give up. I mean, he gives up right away. Is tea okay? Yep, thanks. Just think of this as your home now. Not reading all that. I already gave you all I know about karma. I'm not a member. I don't know much. Oh, come on. Loosen up a bit, will ya? I told you this is your home for a time being. Yada, 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 yada. I don't really care about the family stuff, not gonna lie. 2 enemies and 2 ways out. There's one more in the hallway with a lighter step. He or she is wary of me. My best bet is the yard. Boruto ought to be arriving home soon now. How best to explain? He flips the table on Naruto. I don't even know what this panel is. What the fuck is going on? Okay, that's the vase falling. He flips the table on Naruto. The vase falls. Naruto says yeesh. Boy goes into full KCM mode off of this. You stubborn brat. Listen, you can go wherever you please, but I'm going to have to stick with you the whole way. At least until we confirm your identity and background. I just want to know more about you since I'm responsible for protecting this village. I swear I have no intention of harming you. So this is the Hokage. What enormous power. He might actually be stronger than Jigen. To run away from him is impossible. Alright. So Kawaki is... Okay, this is interesting. Well, not really, because Kawaki's never seen Jigen at full power. So he's not really basing this off anything other than the fact that Jigen is stronger than him. And that Naruto seems to be as strong as Jigen in his KCM form. So this is the Hokage. What enormous power. And of course, in Kawaki's viewpoint, this could only be power because he doesn't really know what chakra is. So it's consistent at least. I asked that because the story already gave us the answer at least on 3 occasions that I can remember. In Avatar, chakras are entirely blocked from flowing within the body, yet people live freely. Chojuro was kind of dunking on the new team, on the 7 Salesmen. He got fucked, bro. Karibo, he got slashed. He got cut up. I saw the fight. He was not dunking on anybody. He needed help too. Not gonna lie, Kawaki's hair is clean until you see how stupid the color combination is. The dialogue is boring. Why does it feel like a light novel at times? Yeah, see, that's why I gotta be skipping some of this stuff. Hey, we got red hair in the building. What's good, Trip? How you doing, bro? Jigen and Ishiki are different. No. I know they're different. I'm headed up. Yeah. No. I know Jigen and Ishiki are different. I get that. All right, Papa. Oh, no worries, Himura. It's nothing. It has him sweating. Boruto, I'm home. Hopefully he doesn't cause things to devolve further. Okay. And you're that karma brat. What the heck are you doing here? You see Boruto. He's going to be living here with us for a while. Play nice. He already broke the vase. Slight disagreement. So this is your doing. Hey, stand down, Boruto. You sure are a rowdy. You sure are a rowdy brat. This is your house, ain't it? Chill out. Oh, Boruto grabs him by the collar. I gotta do that to somebody one day. I just gotta hem someone up. You look like someone who can't even say a proper greeting, and this is the attitude you show people who are about to care for you? You're stretching out my collar. Let go of it. Now both of you, wait, hold on. That's no ordinary vase. Himawari made that and gave it to Mom for her birthday. Oh, Naruto is a... Oh my god. No. I'm not even going to say it. It's fine. It's fine. I'm not even going to say it. It's fine. All I know is that if a stranger I invited into my house broke my daughter's vase that she made for her mom, I'd be putting belt to ass. That's all I'm going to say. Sorry, okay? It wasn't intentional. Now he apologizes. You got more to say? It's Kawaki. My name, damn it. And mine's Boruto. Remember it, freeloader. Ah, that's funny. Alright, 9:19. I'm hungry and tired. So, Trip, you joined the stream kind of late, but we do have a good amount of content for you to go back and look at and watch. Because I'm actually about to get off. Actually, you know what? We can watch a video while I eat or something like that. Choji soloing all Boruto Kage not named Naruto or Gaara. Honestly, with their performances, Choji can go butterfly mode and go big. Maybe. Chojito was just having a conversation with... then he casually knocked her out with the hilt of his sword. Alright, let's do you one, Karibo. Because I remember him getting cut, but let's see it. Now, hopefully I don't get copywritten for this. Actually, if I get copywritten for this, it's okay. I'll just delete it out. But it's okay, because you guys are here to watch it live. Look at this. Oh my fucking god. Let me make sure we can all hear first off. Let me make sure we can all hear. Okay, we can hear. Hey, Karibo, tell me how this man already got all bloody. Why is he bleeding? Why is he cut up? Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done with him. Let me see what else happens. No, that was enough. I don't even need to see any more. That was enough. I'm done with him. I wash my hands of him. Let me go back to my damn... Oh, shit. King Chojiro or Kiritsuchi box with the ghetto statue? Not in a million years, bro. No. He lets him get the needle sword through him just to prove a point. So explain all the cut marks and blood on him beforehand. What point did he prove? All he proved was that he could be pierced by a basic weapon from a basic person. What point did he prove, Karibo? What point is he proving? Oh my fucking god. I ain't dealing with this nigga, man. This nigga's garbage. Let's go to the 3-minute video. Is he proving a point now, being tied up and immobilized? Is he still proving a point? And he basically narrowly dodged that. I don't even know if he dodged it or not. So, like, you see, like, if Chojuro was naturally stronger than any of them, he wouldn't be in this situation. Are you going to tell me these fodders can hurt Kinshiki just because they can hurt Chojuro? Who is this NPC holding Zabuza's iconic sword? What are we even talking about, bro? Kenpachi is allowed to get fried by the Bambis. Chojuro can't educate the swordsman. Your YouTube bar was covering the dialogue. Sorry about that. All right, so here's the thing. I keep telling you this, Karibo. I keep telling you this. I don't know why you don't get it. Here's the thing. The Bambis, the Stern Ritter, are already captain level, right? They're already captain level. That's important. That means something. It means they can fight at the level of a captain. Why? Because your Reiatsu is your stats. If you're not strong enough, you don't have enough Reiatsu, you can't hurt people. If you don't have enough Reiatsu, you're not fast enough. If you don't have enough Reiatsu, you can't react to things. This is shown forth and proven throughout the series an innumerable amount of times. And when I present the video I'm going to be presenting, you're going to see it an innumerable amount of times. I'm even going to show you the most minute points of this happening and relay it all back to Reiatsu. So, first off, Kenpachi just fought a high diff to mid diff fight actually with Gremmy, firstly. Secondly, the first thing he gets attacked with is an off guard attack from Candy, and it electrocutes him. Right? And that doesn't even take him down initially. Like I told you before, he still had enough energy to swing at them, attack, and do all this other stuff. But it was literally a 5v1 of captain class people that were already fighting him after he already just fought a high tier opponent and got injured. It's not the same as Chojuro fighting 5 randoms. What did these random 7 ninja swordsmen accomplish again? Who'd they kill? Did they kill a Kakashi level threat? Did they beat an Akatsuki level threat? I'll even take that, because like ranks don't really exist in Naruto because they're not barometers for power or strength. But give me someone these fighters actually beat, and then we can consider them being strong enough to beat Chojuro. Who did these fighters clear before beating Chojuro? Anyone important? Did they beat the previous Mizukage? Did they Edo Tensei Kasami and did they beat him or something? Like, who did they beat to establish how strong they are? Because right now, all I see is them beating the fucking Mizukage. Hey there, how was the gym? The Bambis don't have impressive showings. Here's the thing, right? When you're basing your series off of power and power levels, you don't need everyone to have impressive showings. We know X character scales because they're able to injure X character. Right? We know Tsukishima is cold because he's able to injure and fight with and contend with Byakuya. If he wasn't cold, if he wasn't powerful enough, he wouldn't be able to do that. That's how the series goes. That's how the power system is portrayed. What's understood ain't got to be explained. The Bambis don't need feats because Bleach is a series that scales off of the power system. And when you're scaling off of the power system, relativity actually does matter. Right? Showings do matter. The Bambis wouldn't be fighting Kenpachi if they weren't able to hurt him. They wouldn't be fighting him. And again, I can go to multiple instances where this is the case and show forth and prove that it requires a certain level of power to even injure someone else in Bleach. You know this to be true. I know this to be true. Chat knows this to be true. This is a true thing. So, comparing these fodders who have done nothing except beat on the Mizukage to the Bambis who come from a series with an established power it's not the same thing. You would be conflating. You'd be putting two things that look close but have nothing to do with each other. It's not the same thing. Little Tato dodging Al-Shveiling. All the Bambis, well, not all the Bambis, but yeah, Little Tato and Giselle dodged Al-Shveiling, and then Ichigo was able to blitz them, but this ain't about Ichigo, yeah. Bambi has plenty of impressive feats. She one-shot Shinji. She did one-shot Shinji, and she would have killed Komamura if he didn't use Dangai Joe. Honestly. She one-shot Shinji, who had enough Ryatsu to cut base Aizen. Facts. Giselle's zombie was powerful enough to work on Toshiro. A weakened Toshiro, but granted. Half-dead Toshiro. Also, the Bambi specifically waited until after Kenny had fought the strongest Stern Rider outside of the Shoots Alpha to even act. Facts. Mugetsu. Shinji got knocked away for running his mouth. He appears undamaged later. When does he appear undamaged later? What do you mean, bro? He literally got blasted in the chest and in his face. He couldn't move. There was I'm pretty sure off screen he got healed by Isane or somebody else. But no, Karibo, you got some. Don't even worry about the comments, bro. You need to answer those questions that I just asked you about the 7 Ninja Swordsmen. Who did they fight before Chojuro to establish their power? Who did they fight before Chojuro to establish their power? And I've already explained why you can't ask that question with the Bambis, because in Bleach, you actually do have to scale to their power. You don't have to do that in Naruto. So you got to show me why they're a threat to Chojuro. Oh, look at this famous quote. A sword is only as good as its wielder. Y'all love that one. Why didn't Chojuro just reinforce his sword so it wouldn't break? Anyways, I'm done with this fraud. Don't you ever put him against Kenpachi or Kaido again. He's getting injured by fodders. I'm mad you even told me about this. Because here's the thing. I always knew this existed, but I actually never watched it. I just knew vaguely that I remember Chojuro getting hurt by these people who had no scaling whatsoever. And now that I actually see him getting hurt by these people who have no scaling whatsoever, how dare you put him against Kenpachi, Kaido, or anyone? How dare you? He should be fighting Nami. He should be fighting Chopper. He should be fighting who's the guy that patrols Karakura Town now? Zenosuke Uroka Dumbamo, whatever his name is. He should be fighting Don Kanochi. He should be fighting Isane. No, Isane is too much for him. He'd never be able to touch Isane. He should be fighting Jirobo of the Wind Scythe. Like, don't ever tell me about Chojuro again, bro. Don't ever talk to me about no Chojuro again. Alright, let's see. It was stated Himawari healed him. Okay, yeah, see, there we go. Shinju was healed by Hinamari. There we go, Momo. Honestly, this bum is a disgrace to Zabuza's sword. Listen, bro, all of them are a disgrace. But especially Chojuro for finding himself in this situation. Bro built like Charlos from One Piece. I laughed my ass off. What's that, VA? VA? I don't know. What's this ingenuous is acting as if characters can't hold back? You don't understand Naruto scaling. Nah, bro. Listen. Here's the thing. Naruto scaling isn't difficult, Karibo. I'm pretty sure everyone here understands Naruto scaling, right? You just tried to tell me the other day that Chojuro would scale to Kinshiki. And I already broke down why that's not the case. But if this right here doesn't show you why that's not the case as well, then I don't know what to do for you. I keep telling you, you don't have to beat these people's chakra pool or whatever. You just have to be able to overpower their durability, which apparently she can do. This fodder right here, this bum that's afraid of getting cut, can overpower Chojuro's durability. The guy that was going to cut him with the sword, Zabuza's sword, can overpower his durability because he dodged it. The guy that was using the split in the hammer can overpower his durability because he blocked and dodged it. In Bleach, you don't need to dodge attacks that aren't going to like kill you. In Bleach, you don't need to dodge attacks that have less Reiatsu than you have defending yourself. So Kenpachi is an overrated bum. I don't know how you're getting Kenpachi as overrated or a bum. I'm not understanding where you're getting that stuff from. Kenpachi is a smoke god, first off. First off, he's a smoke god. Let's establish that, number one. But hold up. I don't know what that is. All right, let me put on something where I can just eat my food and watch while you guys keep going to the comments. If anything, he's underrated. There's people that put him below Shunsui, Toshido, and Byakuya in this series. That's true. There are people like that. Oh, Eon was reading Tokyo Ghoul. Good for him. All right, let's watch a death battle video.
I switched from due dates to due dates, and it made me go from weeks behind to weeks ahead of my deadlines. You see, I used to just bedrot all day.
I forgot to put my headphones on.
Kawaki versus Mahito.
The symbol of fear versus human disaster curse.
He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle. Tenko Shimura was just a sweet, shy boy who loved superheroes.
But sometimes the hand of fate can't abide sweet shy boys.
Ruthlessly beaten and abused by his hero-hating father, Tenko pushed beyond his emotional limits until he activated his inherent superpower, or quirk.
It wasn't something cool like flight or super strength. In his terror, he accidentally killed his whole family. Well, except for dear old dad. That one was intentional.
Tenko wandered the streets alone, silently begging for someone, anyone, to help him. If only a hero was there to save him. But instead, the only open hand he found belonged to the devil.
All for One, the greatest supervillain in history.
He took Tenko under his wing, feeding a hatred of everyone and everything, and grooming him to one day lead his league of villains in destroying hero society.
With that came a new name, Tomura Shigaraki, and an absolutely nightmarish quirk, Decay. It does what it says on the tin. Anything Shiggy touches with all 5 fingers turns to dust. The perfect power for someone who just wants to destroy. Pretty menacing, if not for that dorky-ass costume. I get it, hands are his thing, but come on, they just look so dumb and fake.
Oh, those aren't prosthetics. Those are real hands from his family that he killed, attached to his face, and explicitly commanded to be left there by his mentor so that he would never forget his rage.
Okay.
While his use of decay started off relatively weak, it rapidly increased in power and range as Shigaraki came into his own.
Decay isn't even limited to whatever he's touching. Anything that touches something he's decaying also decays.
Spreading like an all-consuming miasma that can wipe out anything from an enormous tower to an entire city.
If decay reaches you, your only hope is to isolate the body part that is disintegrating before it gets to something vital.
After years of training with the greatest supervillain of all time, Shigaraki was finally put in charge of his own team with one mission. He must kill his master's rival, the #1 hero, All Might.
Only to fall flat on his face.
Shigaraki was a terrible leader, quick-tempered, short-sighted, and, well...
Cringe! Oh, he's just so cringe. He uses gamer lingo unironically. He whines like a baby when things don't go his way. He's the kind of guy who would say normie in real life, in front of normies.
But they say defeat is the greatest teacher of all. Only through struggle could Shigaraki manifest his dark conviction.
Right as All Might's new protege, Izuku Midoriya, was coming into his own as well.
These two rivals, the inheritors of their master's blood feud, would push themselves past their own limitations.
Especially when All Might and All for One double KO'd each other, leaving Shigaraki to lead the League of Villains all by himself.
And with the stakes higher than ever before, Shigaraki stepped up. He personally battled the monstrous Gigantomachia for a month and a half straight, and conquered other villain organizations to create the Paranormal Liberation Front. Thousands of new soldiers for his personal army.
All to impress All for One's personal quack, Dr. Ujiko, who spent months upgrading Shigaraki's body to make it more like his sensei's. It might have been constant agony, but Shiggy went from Chud to Chad.
Ujiko's experimentation vastly increased Shigaraki's strength, speed, and durability, enough to match and surpass even All Might's absurd power.
Sharing All Might's power between them, Deku and Bakugo were able to punch an island-sized hole in a cloud that reached 24 miles into the sky. We've calculated that before to be nearly 80 million megatons of TNT, almost as much as the meteor that wiped out the dinosaurs.
And Shigaraki can now move fast enough that his body produces hypersonic shockwaves and can even catch laser beams.
And he's tough enough to survive Star and Stripes' intercontinental ballistic cruise punch.
EVE Online on Mac immerses you in a universe with thousands of star systems.
Now the new name for my penis. Move over, gigantic Omega Storm. Anyway, it also made a blast so big it showed up against the curvature of the Earth.
Though he might seem invincible, when Shigaraki's body is pushed hard enough, he will evolve into a state of uncontrollable power.
So Decay became? Oh shit, more hands!
Shigaraki can spontaneously generate flesh into existence, seemingly oceans of it in an instant, whenever he wants. He can even use it as a type of armor to defend himself in close combat.
But that's nothing compared to Ujiko's greatest gift. Shigaraki wanted to be the new All for One, so what better way than the old man's quirk?
All for One's quirk, All for One, allows its user to steal and store quirks with just a touch.
And All for One has hundreds of them stored up, collected over the years.
Each quirk is connected to a memory of its user's essence in the form of a spirit, a vestige.
Kinda like a piece of their soul. They exist in this kinda psychic world in Shigaraki's body, and can even act as a spiritual defense should it be invaded.
And with those vestiges came quirks like super fast healing, air blasts, radio waves, flight, telekinesis, teleportation of others, and the ability to track foes.
He can even combine multiple quirks together, like in this big-ass electric Kamehameha.
However, any vestige stolen or destroyed will also remove that quirk from Shigaraki's repertoire. They're also sentient, and some can even fight for control.
Which is when the second shoe finally dropped. Because Shigaraki also got All For One's vestige, that means All For One was now in possession of a shiny new body that he'd spent the last 15 years molding for him to take over.
Shigaraki's entire existence was planned from the beginning. Why? Because All Might's previous mentor was Nana Shimura, Tenko's grandmother.
Oh, that to mess with All Might. That is some next level hating right there.
He manipulated Shigaraki's entire life, all for one purpose: to create a soul so corrupted it would grind away at All Might's perfect world, allowing All For One to take full control.
But All For One's possession wasn't complete, and Shiggy managed to fight his way back to the top, literally decaying his way through vestiges in the process, all to fight his rival Deku one last time.
Despite Izuku's best efforts to save him, Shigaraki was too far gone. His spirit decayed by years of venomous hatred.
And the new symbol of hope defeated the new symbol of fear, burying All For One's grudge for good.
All that Shigaraki asked was to be remembered as the heartless destroyer he was raised to be, and not the broken, angry, crying little boy he really was deep inside.
For just that one moment, though, Shiggy got in Deku the only thing he'd been denied his whole life, the one thing his lifelong nihilistic tantrum was really all about. He got a hero who tried to save him. This battle is sponsored by Robin Hood Gold.
With Robin Hood Gold, you can now enjoy the VIP treatment, receiving a 3% IRA match on retirement contributions.
The privileges of the very privileged are no longer exclusive. With Robin Hood Gold, your annual IRA contributions are boosted by 3%.
Plus, you also get 4% APY on your cash of 100% match on PC. Man's greatest fear has been his fellow man.
But what if this fear took on a life of its own?
What if all that negative emotion humans felt for one another spilled from their bodies and congealed, forming, over time, a living being fueled by malice, which believes in nothing but the law of the jungle?
Well, then you'd have the special grade curse with a patch face, Mahito. Oh, I've had people tell me I've become a human disaster curse when I've had too many mojitos.
Mahito is one of the deadliest beings to ever afflict mankind.
Not gonna lie, they kind of wanked the shit out of Shigaraki. But not really, but they really did. I don't know how Mahito's even going to compare to this. I can't wait to see what they do for this. Excuse me. Oh my god, hiccups.
He's no mere mortal though, but a cursed spirit. Innumerable spirits exist, weaker or stronger depending on the amount of anxieties, jealousies, hatreds, and fears humans feel about them.
Like the fear of locusts, kinda weak. Or the fear of smallpox, getting stronger. Or the fear of fire. Oh, goodbye, Tokyo.
So it follows that mankind's fear of itself would be extremely powerful. Those negative emotions manifest as Mahito, a being composed of cursed energy.
It's basically like evil ki. Cursed energy can be used to make spirits way stronger, faster, and tougher than any normal human. And it's invisible, making curses like Mahito impossible for the untrained eye to see. Only a life or death situation can galvanize a normal person to see a cursed spirit.
That also makes cursed spirits virtually immune to physical damage. They may be physically present in space, but can only be harmed by attacks that embody spirit matter like cursed energy.
Which makes curses insanely hard to get rid of, like ghosts, cockroaches, or my ex. That's why you need a Jujutsu sorcerer to come in and Kaizen the shit out of them. They call it exorcism, but I like the way I said it better.
Curses and sorcerers have battled each other for millennia, waging an endless war over the fate of humanity. Almost exclusively in Japan, though, for some reason.
But Mahito was special. You see, most curses are basically dumb animals, but Mahito has so much cursed energy that it gave him sentience.
So he was recruited by Kenjaku alongside other special grade disaster curses to wreak havoc upon the world. In fact, they made Mahito their leader.
And even more frightening than intelligence and bloodlust, Mahito possessed philosophy.
Perhaps informed by the tragic meaninglessness of interhuman conflict, Mahito is an existential nihilist, believing in nothing but his own will to power. It's a dog-eat-dog world, and Mahito is the wolf.
Which also makes him kind of a goofball. If nothing matters, why not have fun with the slaughter? Really get your steps in. He loves to dig around and toy with your emotions like a cartoon character before slitting your throat.
An appropriate analogy considering his curse technique, idol transfiguration.
Using his cursed energy, Mahito can control anyone's soul with just a touch, including his own. In fact, he's so good at manipulating his own soul that you can't even kill the bastard without directly targeting it.
In Jujutsu Kaisen, the soul and the body share an immutable connection. Whatever happens to the former affects the latter.
This lets Mahito squash, stretch, and shapeshift his body into literally anything he wants. Like Play-Doh, he can turn his limbs into blades or clubs, grow wings like a bird or fins like a fish, reform his body around injuries, or even create clones.
Curse users are naturally unharmed by their own ability. Should he touch a human, though, his alterations to their body are instantly fatal.
And since he's attacking your soul, those physical wounds are gonna be impossible to heal.
Even if his alteration isn't directly fatal, the human body won't last more than a few moments in a transfigured state.
All that with one touch! God, I thought herpes was bad.
His powers mean Mahito treats humans as effectively disposable dolls that he can gleefully experiment on. The more casualties, the better, especially if he gets to break your spirit first and watch you suffer.
Even more twisted is when he combines two transfigured humans together for soul multiplicity, essentially a giant torrent of body horror flesh that he repels at an opponent. Ugh.
Mahito is unbelievably creative with his application of idol transfiguration, and despite being a newborn curse, consistently keeps experienced sorcerers on the back foot.
It helps that he's a quick study who's picked up a number of different curse techniques, like the Black Flash.
By applying cursed energy within 1 microsecond of an impact with an enemy, space itself will distort, exponentially amplifying its force by a factor of 2.5.
Not only does this hurt like a mother, it restores your curse technique and gets you fully in the zone.
And would require reflexes moving nearly 1,000 times the speed of sound. It's no surprise then that Mahito also unlocked the pinnacle of sorcerer techniques, the domain expansion.
Oh shit! More hands! A domain is like a barrier of cursed energy, but if you're caught inside, Mahito can use idol transfiguration instantly without even needing to touch you.
It's called the self-embodiment of perfection, the ultimate expression of Mahito's absolute control over his victim's body and soul. The only time it ever failed was against the student sorcerer and Mahito's archenemy, Yuji Itadori.
Because not only was Yuji a barf-inducing goody little two-shoes who believed in the inalienable rights of all living things, blah, 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 he also had a curse inside of him.
The king of curses, Sukuna.
Which meant Mahito's ability affected both souls in Yuji's body. Sukuna didn't like that. No surprise, and kicked Mahito's ass, forcing Patchface to fight with a handicap whenever facing his pink-haired menace.
Yuji's belief in the value of human life flew directly in the face of the world that Mahito knew to be cruel and meaningless. So he made it his mission to crush Yuji's spirit before killing him, murdering his friends, defiling their corpses, and brutally battering him before going in for the kill.
And he's got the strength to do it. Mahito's one of the most powerful curses in the world, and his growth is exponential.
Fellow disaster curse Jogo was able to summon a massive meteor capable of reducing the city of Shibuya to ash.
That'd take an energy of over 800 kilotons of TNT.
And Mahito can take as good as he can give, especially when, in the throes of struggle against Yuji, he evolved, unlocking a vastly more powerful form, the instant body of distorted killing.
Complete with armored exoskeleton and arm blades, this was a taste of the almighty curse Mahito was growing into, a true blight on all mankind.
It wouldn't last. In a bitter battle of resolve, Yuji won out. In a dog-eat-dog world, there was now a bigger wolf.
So he tucked tail and ran away like a bitch. And what do you know? Life suddenly became a whole lot more meaningful the second it looked like it was about to end.
All that gleeful nihilism, just a bitter hypocrisy in the end.
For him, maybe, but Mahito found a convert in his archenemy. After a battle that wiped out thousands of innocent people, Yuji's youthful spirit was gone. The only thing left that mattered was exorcising this curse.
In a way, that was Mahito's final victory, the destruction of another human being's soul. He may not have been around to see it, but the curse Mahito inflicted on the world would bring it to its knees.
Alright.
Hey, do you see that join button? Yeah, that one. That's your ticket to being a death battle champion.
I'd heard of a powerful villain stalking these parts. My organization is going to tear this putrid world down around us. We could use a freak of your talents.
Little old me. Do I want to be king of the social rejects? How about I bring them your head instead?
Fine by me. Let's call this your audition. Sickum.
Did you actually just say that? God, how lame!
Audition over.
Did I get the part?
Decay! What a rush! That all you got?
Domain expansion. I can read your soul. You're just a scared little boy whose daddy is mean and wants to make it everyone else's problem. Grow up.
Hands off my masterpiece.
I felt your soul too. You only hate humanity because you were born that way. Totally random.
Okay, I've seen enough. I don't even think I need to finish that, to be honest. Yeah, that was interesting. I didn't consider All for One being inside Tomura at this point. So that was kind of weird. But I guess if we're doing this version of him, he would exist. But normally I don't know if I would like give him that. But I could see it. I could see it, yeah. Yeah, Mugetsu, this ending is kind of mid. Not gonna lie. Not gonna lie, this ending's kind of mid. But realistically, there would just be no way for Mahito to even touch Shigaraki. Shigaraki outscales. He has way more versatility with his quirks. And yeah, no, Shigaraki just kind of takes this as a stomp. But alright, y'all. I'm about to get ready for work. For bed soon to get ready for work. But let's read y'all comments, see what y'all talking about before we get out of here. Because I know I missed a lot when I was eating. End of series means No Breath from Hell, which takes place after Can't Figure Out World. Shunsui was affected by Enrakyu's copied Kyokasuigetsu, whereas Kenny was too strong for it to work. Doesn't mean Katen Kyokotsu Katamatsu Shinju wouldn't work on Kenny. Also, Kyokasuigetsu's Kanzen Saimin works relative to a target's current form. Was Kenny in base when he resisted it? Was Shunsui in Shikai or Bankai when it affected him? Shunsui was in Shikai, Kenny was in base. This death battles ending is so meh. I didn't like this one. It felt meh. Yeah, that's kind of the vibes I was getting. I'm not a fan of how they did the art style. And don't remind me, guys, I'm just reading y'all conversation to catch up. Imagine if we called JJK Magical Battle. That'd be hilarious, Mindo. Was there any further context like those who had already been ensnared by Aizen's Kanzen Simon being more susceptible? Is it referred to Kyokasuigetsu at any point? I have not read all of Can't For Your Own World yet. Tokinada's Zanpakuto and Rakioten allows Tokinada to learn and copy a Zanpakuto ability he sees in action. And he can use 3 Shikai simultaneously. It's worth noting they're scaled to Tokinada. That's true. They are scaled to Tokinada. To me, Mahito wins this matchup. Yeah, I don't know about that, Rev. And I'm not gonna, like I said, you don't gotta respond to this, of course, because like I said, I'm reading slowly here. Shigaraki really just outscales the entire verse. Like aside from like Gojo and Sukuna and stuff like that. Unless you're like one of those guys that has JJK to like light speed. I know about the Enrakyoten. I've watched Mr. Tomo break it down. I want to know if it only copies a Shikai ability or the Shikai itself. You said it can't. You said it can use 3 Shikai at once. Elaborate. That is a bullshit argument. Okay, I'm almost already caught up. He can copy and store an infinite number of Zanpakuto abilities. He can only use up to three simultaneously. Zanpakuto abilities or Zanpakuto? It's the Zanpakuto abilities, Ronin. It should be, at least. It's weird to describe. It's described as Enryakuten's abilities becoming the copied abilities. Yeah. But alright, y'all, we're gonna take it. We're gonna get out of here. This was a good stream, though. I appreciate you guys for always showing up, reading Boruto with me, and etc. etc. Mugetsu, we're gonna watch your video probably maybe tomorrow. We'll see how tomorrow goes. But I didn't study any IT stuff today, so I'll have to study some IT stuff tomorrow before I do anything. And if I'm not tired and if I have enough time, we can definitely stream while I read Boruto. We can do that again. Yeah. Because I'm gonna. Oh god, that is wild, man. These ads, man. It's not my fault. It's not my fault. But anyways, I'm gonna try and only read Boruto when I'm live, so you guys don't miss any of my breakdowns or analysis of what's going on. But all right, y'all. This was a good one. Yeah, this was a good one. I'm about to be out there, about to go to bed. Got to call my girl, all that other stuff. So y'all take it easy.